A man was resting on a bench when suddenly a little girl approached him and struck up a conversation telling him to return to the Min realm to claim his inheritance. He inherited the will of his ancestors, the Bak-ki king, to unify the entire Min realm and become the great emperor of the Min realm. Long ago, a wicked dragon looked down upon the emperor. Disaster struck the Min realm for countless years. One of the three realms was hanging by a thread, and across the entire Min realm there was only one person who could resist the calamity and break it. That was the Bak-ki king, the ruler of one of the 12 military districts of the Min realm. He dedicated his 100 years of cultivation to save the beings of the Min realm, and in the end, he quelled the disaster. But he sacrificed himself. In the final stage of forging the weapons of conquest to unify the Min realm and become its great emperor, his former power had betrayed him, seizing all the treasures and territories. Therefore, when the heir inherits the legacy, they must avenge the traitors on behalf of their ancestors. He gently patted the little girl's head and said so. "Do you want to help me to become my right-hand person?" The girl's face flushed as he continued. "Then we will go to conquer the Min realm and the heavenly realm and become the masters of the three realms. However, first wait for me a few days. I will call Qin Shi Huang in the Min realm to borrow 10,000 troops first." Hearing this, Bak Li immediately got angry. "Are you joking? I don't believe it." Saying that, he punched Liu Wu hard. "You're lying to me, aren't you? I will immediately take you back to your hometown to recognize your ancestors." Liu Wu knelt on the ground, continuously vomiting up last night's dinner, surprised that such a small girl had such terrifying strength. After a moment, he suddenly recalled the girl's words. As he looked up at the Min realm, he saw a black dot spinning and gradually enlarging. Liu Wu thought the girl would do something foolish. Kids don't think about suicide. But as soon as he finished speaking, a feeling of weightlessness suddenly appeared. Liu Wu was pulled in strongly. Still being a virgin, he didn't want to die. Meanwhile, in some area of the Min realm, a beam of light fell from the sky along with Liu Wu's cries for help crashing to the ground. Liu Wu couldn't believe his eyes. What the hell is happening? Could it be that everything she said is true? Is my ancestor really the Bak-ki king? Bak Li walked and spoke. "That's right, this land was once the territory of your ancestors, known as Bak-ki, one of the 12 great hells of the Min realm," Liu Wu continued to ask. "So I am the new lord of the Underworld, one of the rulers of the Min realm, right?" Bak Li replied. "Of course. But before that, you must find a way to reclaim your lost land. The traitors of your ancestors must also be punished." Upon hearing this, Liu Wu's spirit surged. Reclaiming that land is a must. The traitors of my ancestors must also be punished. So did my ancestors leave behind a powerful army, superior martial arts, or some unique system for me? When my level increases, I will sweep through the Min realm. What about the 8 emperors? Liu Wu saw Bak Li shrug and say, "Actually, there's nothing at all. To put it bluntly, you are just a naked commander. Everything must be built from scratch." Liu Wu sniffled. How annoying, burying his own shit. After saying that, he turned away. "I can't do this. Once it's done, go up and worship. Give her a little more and go find someone better than me." Bak Li said, "Although everything you said is untrue, if you still have the weapon of conquest and I am by your side." Upon hearing this, Liu Wu turned back, although she didn't seem to have any combat power. Hearing about this divine weapon seemed very impressive. Bak Li nodded. "Of course. This is the ultimate weapon of the entire Min realm, forged personally by your ancestor, the Bak-ki king, to unify the entire Min realm. Although in the final stage of the forging process, he sacrificed himself. You have sacrificed yourself. But we have completed the final step for you, so the function of this weapon is now complete and extremely powerful. The strongest feature of this divine weapon is its ability to summon. It can gather and harness negative energy from everywhere to create an immortal body. As long as there is a soul, the body can be changed at any time. Achieving a goal that is nearly immortal as long as you possess enough souls, you can have an army of undead that kills without dying. After saying this, Bak Li immediately put the ring on the thumb of 6 Vo. Instantly, a voice rang out. The divine weapon of conquest has been activated, scanning the identity of the bearer bloodline scan successful. The master is a descendant of the Bak-ki king and has officially bonded with the divine weapon of conquest. You can traverse between the realms of the living and the dead, and the basic functions are now activated. 6 Vo was stunned for a moment. This ability is truly extraordinary, but where do we find so many souls? And what happens if there are no souls? Hearing this, Bak Li burst into tears. Why didn't I think of that? Without souls, this weapon seems useless. Six Vo patted her head. All right, don't cry anymore. This isn't too difficult for me. You know what I do, she said, sniffling and flipping through a small notebook. Six Vo, 23 years old, is the 365th descendant of the Bak Ki king. I've been in business for 3 years, and I'm still just a single guy running a small game website with almost no traffic. Six Vo interrupted. Hey, don't read my resume. You know I make games, right? Can we upgrade the functions of this weapon? For example, we could guide mortal souls to use a gaming experience to reach the mortal realm, turning them into our immortal warriors. As long as the game is hot enough, we will have countless warriors. Do you understand what I mean? Bak Li thought carefully and believed that this method was feasible. When a player's physical body dies, it could completely be recreated as a hero equivalent to being resurrected in the game. Her reaction surprised Six Vo. He didn't expect her to grasp the essence of this method. Although still very young, Bak Li laughed heartily. I'm a seasoned gamer with 100 years of experience. Six Vo felt a bit worried because turning the Min Jioi into a game is a big project. It requires a complete game system like quests, shops, subtitles, and professions. But Bak Li reassured him, don't worry. The divine weapon of conquest can not only create immortal warriors, but it can also use negative energy and spiritual power to form various techniques including landscapes and items in the game. Spiritual power is the measure of the strength of beings in the Min Jioi. The stronger the being, the greater the amount of spiritual power generated. Players can use it to upgrade or purchase items. The most important thing is, we can deduct the spiritual power that players earn when defeating monsters, 1 to enhance their own strength, 2 to reconstruct the Bak Ki king and as a reward during quests. What if we set this rate at 20%? Six Vo suggested changing it to 30%. Let's do it. After determining the direction, Bak Li led Six Vo into the hall. The Bak Ki king had become a ruin, and she pushed aside a secret door. This is where our ancestors crafted the mysterious weapon. And I am the only assistant of the ancestors who participated in the entire process of creating this weapon. Although this place has become dilapidated, you can still feel the glorious splendor of the past. About 2 hours later, Bak Li collapsed to the ground, crying, finally I've completed the upgrades. Now we just need to connect the weapon to your game server. Six Vo was anxious and excited. It's been a tough journey. Now let's go to my place. It's an online game created by the Min Jioi integrated into VR headsets with a magic array for guiding souls. As long as players download it and start playing, their souls will be sucked into the game server. Then brought to the realm through VR headset, 6 players are in awe, not only unaware of the existence of the realm, but they also think it's just an incredibly realistic game. Uncle Lee also thought of a name for the game named after the weapon of the online conquest, which is the ambition left behind by the ancestors of the Northern King. The game was launched on the 6 platform to attract players, and they even claimed the game is completely free with a realism of up to 100%. But after 2 hours, no users had downloaded it. It turns out that the 6 platform for the game had no traffic, which made Uncle Lai worried. This is not good at all. We don't have time to waste anymore because in the capital in the eastern area of the Northern King's palace, there is a demon general stationed with over 500,000 soldiers and still expanding. No one knows when he plans to attack us, but if the capital falls, we will completely fail, and your soul in the realm will also suffer. Endless invasion cannot be avoided. Hearing this, 6 turned pale, wishing they had mentioned something so important earlier. Now where am I supposed to find 500,000 players for you? I can't find these 500,000 players. Even if I die, I would still be tortured. While the two were feeling sad and unsure of what to do, suddenly the computer rang with a sound. A player named Wang Da Mong logged into the server of the Conquest apparently to check the truth about the game. No way, this guy dares to claim 100% realism while the most famous game right now, Atlantis, only has 55%. This is no longer just exaggerated advertising, it's outright fraud. So he logged in to see how a professional gamer would check this fake product. Then he would report to the authorities to claim the reward for whistleblowing. At this moment, the two were observing from behind, and 6 asked if 100% realism would make players suspicious. Right. Just like Uncle Lee before you told me to go back to the realm to inherit the unified assets of the realm, so Uncle Lee punched him. Aren't you going to blame me? I'm just stating the truth. 6 vomited again, that power not matching that physique. Hey, if it's 100% realistic, then the pain felt by the players would also be 100% real. Right. Uncle Lai said, "Don't worry, I've anticipated this. The pain sensation for players has been minimized as much as possible. Of course, it's just pain relief. The rest still feels very real." At the same time, a few drops of blood fell on Wang Damang's face. Under the dim red moonlight, the sky rained blood, and the cold wind blew everywhere, making one feel as if they were in hell. Everything was so real that he couldn't believe it was just a game. No way could this game achieve such realism. He even suspected that he had been electrocuted to death the moment he put on the VR headset, which is why he ended up in this realm. At this moment, the storyline set up by Uncle Lai appeared before Wang Damang. The calamity of 10,000 years fell upon the Northern King's palace to resist the heavenly annihilation, sacrificing lives to save billions of beings in the north. However, after the Northern King died, his subordinates betrayed him and occupied all the lands of the north. As the sole heir of the Northern King, now is the time for you to embark on the journey to restore the glory of your ancestors. After the storyline text appeared, hints reappeared in his mind. Please choose your profession: warrior wielding a great sword specializing in strength, mage wielding a magic staff specializing in long-range attacks, or assassin wielding a trident specializing in burst damage. Wang Damang breathed a sigh of relief, realizing he wasn't dead. This was truly just a game. However, just the initial script building couldn't be done with only 800 given the instincts of a professional gamer. He bets that this game will definitely be a success. But why can't I see any healing professions? Those two scammers behind the screen are quietly chuckling. If there were healing professions, how could we sell healing items in the shop to earn soul coins? After hesitating for a moment, the great warrior finally chose the profession he was skilled in. Moments later, his body was enveloped in a blooming light like a lotus flower and flew up behind the shadow of a spear-wielding assassin. A cold voice echoed from the darkness, dancing on the scythe of death, blooming in death, creating a moment of eternity. He transformed into the assassin's basic outfit and gloves. As soon as he put them on, he immediately felt a surge of power and his agility increased significantly. At this moment, a new player mission appeared. Newbie slay the wandering stone demons with a reward of 5 soul coins. He felt utterly helpless because the newbie gear was too weak. Fearing that players wouldn't be able to kill the monsters, Bak Li said we had to rely on players hunting the creatures from the spirit realm to earn soul power, and this was the first player. There still weren't many surplus soul coins to create powerful gear. Once there were more soul coins, there would definitely be stronger equipment. At this moment, the great warrior wore a look of disdain. The wandering demons were definitely low-level monsters in the game, just 10 of them, right? For a professional gamer like me, this is just a matter of rolling up my sleeves and catching them. He then picked up his knife filled with enthusiasm and headed towards the outskirts. It was time to show his true strength. The new monsters are coming here, so brace yourselves. But halfway through, faint moans drifted from afar. That sound was so mournful that the great warrior couldn't help but feel frightened. What kind of strange creature was that? The atmosphere was terrifying. Goosebumps were all over my skin. Can a game really design details this realistic? He tried to reassure himself to suppress his nervousness. Don't be scared, it's just a game. But just as he finished speaking, a strange white shadow rushed past in front of him. That ghost even spoke. That creature was truly a delicious soul. "I will feast on you!" It charged straight at the great warrior, but as a professional gamer, he quickly parried the attack with his dagger, sighing. This newly released monster is already terrifying, just like a boss from other games. But still, a new monster is just a new monster. It's only a form, not really scary. Hearing the ghost made him even angrier. "How dare you underestimate me? I will definitely chop you down." It continuously whipped the great warrior with its tail. The great warrior was utterly surprised that the game even simulated the emotional system of the monsters. So small. It's hard to imagine, but no matter what, it's useless. I'm a professional gamer. Drawing attention, he surrounded the monster, slashing without a moment's hesitation. At this moment, the great warrior continuously struck the ghost. Before long, the ghost was covered in wounds, trembling and crying out, "Damn it, how can a human be this strong? It seems I have to use my ultimate skill for real now." The great warrior continued to provoke, "Show me how powerful your ultimate skill is." But just as he finished speaking, the ghost surged like a dragon crossing the river, transforming into a whirlwind, moving so fast that the great warrior was completely caught off guard and took the full brunt of the attack. At that moment, the great Vuong was knocked back, constantly complaining about the new monster's abilities, especially that second divine skill. Meanwhile, I didn't have a single skill. All I could do was marvel at how incredibly realistic the game was. Not just the durability of the gear, but also the mechanics. The environmental damage was real, but now our health was down to just 2%. Just one more hit and it's over. How can I retreat now? I'm a professional gamer who has been through countless battles. How could I just stop at the newbie village? To show you my skills, I'll give it my all for this final blow. It's a matter of honor for a man. I just wanted to play a realistic game, but here I am facing a monster. In the newbie village, I was left with nothing but my underwear. As a professional gamer, I had never faced such humiliation. So I charged in with my knife to show you my skills. I'll give it my all for this final blow. It's a matter of honor for a man, but just as I finished speaking, my toe accidentally kicked a hard stone, and the great Vuong, filled with confidence, suddenly fell flat, shattering his honor right then and there. The system popped up a notification the player Great Vuong has died in the game, starting a 3-hour respawn timer. At that moment, Bak Li behind the screen felt utterly frustrated. This guy couldn't even handle the new monster and still called himself a professional gamer. What a sight. It made me want to laugh, thinking he could adjust the durability of his gear a bit. We need to reset this environmental damage. Why is the respawn time set to 3 hours? Bak Li replied, because the player's physical body in the underworld, although made of yin energy, suffers damage when defeated. If the soul returns to the body too quickly, it can cause slight mental harm, so a cooldown period is necessary. Meanwhile, the great Vuong, after taking off his helmet, looked pale. Who would have thought that his confidence would crumble because of a tiny stone? What's even more infuriating is that this game has a 3-hour respawn time, so he shared this game in the Atlantis team group. He also promised that if it wasn't good, he would give everyone 10,000 gold coins and a live stream of eating poop. Under the encouragement of the great Vuong, a wave of players began to join the game. Soon they fell into a state of panic similar to what the great Vuong had experienced before. The scenery was almost lifelike, leaving them completely shocked. After choosing their favorite class, they received a new mission from the ghost, which appeared with its familiar line about eating flesh. "Delicious souls, I will feast on you." One person trembled and said, "That monster is terrifying. This game is too real. Let's run." But another replied, "Run, what the hell, you guys are scared of a newly spawned monster. Come on, follow me. Let's charge in and kill it." After some discussion, everyone was excited and began preparing for battle. Right, it's just a new monster. Are we really going to be scared of it? Wait until it goes online. I'll teach it a lesson. At that moment, Bak Li was hiding behind saying, "Hey, look at those players. They're having so much fun, aren't they?" "We've succeeded." Sixvo nodded. Their adaptability was quick and their coordination was impressive. They might be a professional gaming team. Meanwhile, the great Vuong was still staring at the chat group, but no one responded, even though they had been playing intensely for 30 minutes. In the game, a warrior named Tran Tu Vu charged in and took down 2 weak ghosts. He said, "Hey guys, let me take these weak ghosts to complete the mission and boost our team." Just as he finished speaking, his level shot up to level 2. He exclaimed, "Damn, leveling up like this feels completely different from other games. It's not just about changing the data, I can actually feel it. My muscles are bulking up." Everyone cheered and got excited. It felt like becoming a superhero in the game. Now Tran Tu Vu curiously opened the trading post to see what was available. Instantly, a trading interface appeared before him, and he realized that the items for wizards in the shop were clearly more expensive than those for other professions. This made him happy for choosing the warrior profession. He looked at the 14 soul coins in his inventory and finally gritted his teeth to buy the weapon of the real demon. Amidst the envious gazes of everyone, Tran Tu Vu raised his newly purchased weapon high and shouted, "I feel stronger now. Hey everyone, I'm going to lead you to wipe out all the wandering demons in Tanthu village." According to Bak Li's setup, every time players killed monsters, they could earn 30% of the reward money. That means in this half hour, 30 wandering demons helped Sixvo earn 27 soul coins. Bak Li also mentioned that players shopping at the store would earn commissions because the goods were produced at increased costs. 30% compared to the original divine weapon for sale, so the more you sell, the more money you make. That's what they call mutual benefit. They have fun playing, and I earn a lot too, so it's all good. The scene shifted as Tran Tu Vu and the others traveled for 3 hours, finally arriving at the foggy demon mountain on the map where the true landscape began to unfold. At this moment, a new quest popped up. Discover special monsters activating a side quest. Anyone participating in defeating the Yu-Min warrior would receive additional soul coin rewards. The dropped items could be resold at the store. A new hint disappeared as a muscular horned U-Min warrior appeared before the pathetic creatures. Do you dare invade my territory? This is a death wish. At that moment, Tran Tu Vu charged forward, saying, I'm the highest level here, I'll draw their hatred. You all attack with all your might, keep your distance, and dodge their strikes. Don't hold back on healing potions anymore. We have the numbers. Even if we scrape off their skin, we have to kill it. But every time he swung his fist, a dent appeared in the ground. No one dared to stand firm. They could only keep moving. Six Vo asked Bak Li, is it too early for them to fight the elite monster right from the start? Bak Li replied no. No, because this group of players is stronger than we imagined. Just hunting weak, wandering ghosts won't satisfy them, so we have to continuously create new challenges to stimulate them. More importantly, this U-Min warrior will drop a very useful item for you. Six Vo immediately became interested. What is it? But Bak Li kept it a secret for now, saying, you'll find out when the time comes. Clearly, this U-Min warrior was too strong, but fortunately, they were all professional gamers, quick to react, dodging attacks while continuously dealing damage to it. Its health was down to only 2% after nearly an hour and a half of siege, and they were almost able to kill it when their healing potions ran out. An hour of hard work seemed to go down the drain, but just then, a white light suddenly flashed above the U-Min warrior's head, followed by the voice of Vuong Dai Mang. You bastards, wait, I'll show you. A fatal blow from Vuong Dai Mang struck the back of the U-Min warrior, completely wiping out its remaining health, and everyone was immediately enveloped in white light. Clearly, at level up, they reveled in the pleasure as their stats increased while the outer shell of the U-Min warrior was stripped away, revealing a palm-sized black gem. The U-Min pearl could be sold at the store for 28 soul coins. After selling the gem, it was immediately transferred to Six Vo's hands. He asked, is this ordinary black gem the useful item? What does it do? Bak Li said. You'll know once you eat it. Six Vo took a bite and found it tasted a bit strange and somewhat nauseating, but soon his body warmed up, radiating warmth from within. Wow, so this U-Min pearl can enhance and strengthen my physique, Bak Li explained. Even though you're a descendant of Bakai King, your original physique is too ordinary. We need to utilize items with such effects to enhance your health. Hearing this, Six Vo felt satisfied and enthusiastic. So what are we waiting for? Let's boost our strength right away, bring more players into the game. That way we can soon avenge our ancestors and unite the Min realm. The game time has reached 12 hours. Players will soon be forced to log out. Please prepare. The appearance of this notification. It made everyone freeze. Oh my, there's a time limit too. This game is too wholesome. Is there a mistake? Can we get more time, please? I can even pay extra for 5 more minutes. Amid the outcry from players, everyone was forced to exit the game. It's very confusing. We just created many new missions for them. Why did you have to force them to exit? The developer said this is also to protect the players. Their souls can go to the afterlife, but their bodies must remain in the real world. Staying too long, their bodies won't be able to handle it. The developer immediately understood this is about sustainable development. Mowing the lawn must be done slowly, step by step. On the other hand, the player felt regret after returning to reality. Not being able to play, what's the point of conquering the online world? There's nothing to do. The player glanced at the group chat and saw the boss looking for people everywhere. It turns out their new game, Atlantis, is about to participate in a tournament, but today, no one in the team is online to practice seeing the boss's angry messages. The player was frustrated and even more annoyed. After all, they hadn't signed a contract yet, so they argued with the boss right in the group chat and left the group. The other teammates followed suit. The next day, everyone arranged to meet in real life, wanting to make big money in the newly launched online conquest game. Team leader Tran Tu Vu felt it was very strange. This game has no in-game purchases and isn't advertised on major platforms. Perhaps the owner of this game really doesn't need money. Meanwhile, the two creators of the game were eating instant noodles. The developer was even crying. Being a descendant of the North Kai King and living in such poverty is tough. It's too poor now. The player patted the little developer's head, saying, "Don't worry, once we have more players, we'll find a way to make money, and then I'll take you out for delicious food. I will definitely make you chubby and healthy." The developer said game companies mainly make money through in-game purchases, right? Our online conquest game should do that. Hearing that, the developer slammed the table with enthusiasm, saying, "No way. The soul currency in online conquest is very rare. We need players to earn it. We can't lose big over small things. We should think of ways to promote to attract more players. That's the reality." The player felt very helpless. Right now they were really poor and had no way to promote the game. The developer was also frustrated. Now, apart from eating instant noodles, they only ate instant noodles. They hadn't tasted any other delicious food. At that moment, the player suddenly spoke up. "Even if it's tough, we can't let it get us down. Don't worry, I still have a plan." The developer was surprised. "What do you have in mind?" It turns out the player just discovered a new ranking event for the game. All new games will be rated by experts with a maximum score of 10 points. Achieving over 8 points will earn a homepage promotion. The voting period for the event is 30 days, and the prerequisite is that the game must achieve a minimum promotional score of 8 points. But due to the 100% realism, the game currently does not exist in the market. At this moment at the game platform headquarters, a game reviewer just finished evaluating a game. Another piece of trash, and it dares to participate in the new game rankings. What a waste of time. It only deserves 2 points. After scoring, he clicked on the next game to evaluate an order, but the introduction of this game left him stunned. Online Conquest, a realistic 800 mobile banking game. "Don't joke with me," the reviewer cursed while putting on headphones. This is not just trash, but even worse, it's a complete scam. Logging in just to record a review. He then gave it 1 point and removed it, but the next experience in the game made him doubt everything. Everything inside was too realistic. He played straight for 12 hours until he was kicked out of the game. The game Thang Tui feels like being chased by a ghost. It's totally my style, definitely a perfect 10, but the only downside is the limited playtime. Then he called his boss. "Boss, it's me Thang Tui. I've discovered a treasure." During the evaluation, I found a game with nearly 100% realism. I've already experienced it for 12 hours. We just need to grasp this game. We can definitely turn the company into the #1 gaming platform in the country. Ingo Kwok Nhat immediately opened his computer, coldly chuckling about the treasure game 800 mobile banking. "Are you kidding me?" Thang Tui spoke very quickly and clearly, sounding very rushed. "Boss, please don't be angry. Just try playing it first. If you're not satisfied at all, I'll voluntarily resign." Hearing this, Ingo Kwok Nhat put on his headphones. After playing thousands of games, he had become numb. There's no game in the world that can satisfy me, but after logging in, he was left speechless. The realism of the game was truly, as Thang Tui said. It reached perfection. That was an experience he had never had in his life. This game is bound to be a huge success. The next day, Bak Lee finally got to eat a portion of fried rice at the street stall. That was the second dish besides instant noodles. At that moment, Six Vo received a call from an unknown number. "Hello, are you the owner of the game Chin Chin Truk Tu Yen? I'm the head of the gaming platform and want to discuss some matters with you. Are you free?" However, last night, Ngo Kwok Nhat stayed up playing the game for 12 hours without realizing it. If it weren't for the mandatory exit mechanism, he might still be playing. Six Vo happily agreed. "No problem, I'll come right over." This surprised Ngo Kwok Nhat. He agreed so easily. It seemed he would have a great opportunity to win this game. Ngo Kwok Nhat hurriedly replied, "No need, just send me the location, I'll find you myself." This made Six Vo realize that his game was being taken seriously. In his heart, he unconsciously looked forward to it. Then he sent the coordinates to Ngo Kwok Nhat. Upon receiving the coordinates, Ngo Kwok Nhat excitedly said, "What a coincidence, we're in the same city. Give me 20 minutes and I'll be right there." Not long after, a car sped up and stopped by the porridge shop. A middle-aged man stepped out. "Hello, I'm Ngo Kwok Nhat, the person in charge of the gaming platform." "Is it really you? The owner of this sports car wants to buy my fried rice?" But seeing the other person talking to 2 customers, he suddenly felt a wave of sadness. Ngo Kwok Nhat lowered his head. "Can we talk privately for a moment?" "Bak Lee, just keep eating, don't rush. Wait until I finish, then we can go." Seeing that he didn't want to leave, Ngo Kwok Nhat suggested, "How about we go eat somewhere else, a better place?" Bak Lee reluctantly put down his chopsticks, and together with Six Vo, they left the rice shop. The next scene showed the two being taken to the most luxurious hotel in Gia Lam, where just a bottle of wine was worth 680,000 yuan. Six Vo and Kwok Nhat asked, "Did you two develop this excellent game yourselves or hire a famous studio?" Six Vo hesitated a bit. He hadn't thought of a way to answer. If he said the research team only had 2 people, then he was just a planner himself. Seeing him hesitate, Ngo Kwok Nhat immediately got to the point. "It's okay. You don't need to mention the details. To be honest, I really like and highly value your game. I want to buy it. Just give me a price and I'll definitely pay a fair amount. Six-Vo mumbled, I knew it. The details inside don't even need to be mentioned. Honestly, I really like and highly value your game and I want to buy it back. Just give me a price and I'm sure I'll pay a fair amount. I knew it, you mumble. The real purpose is to take over our game and then he politely declines. Sorry, but this game is off the table. Our team has put in a lot of effort to research and develop this and we currently have no intention of selling. However, it seems that Ngo anticipated this. Speaking of the figure 100 million, what do you think of this price? A man created a virtual reality game with 100% realism, only to be eyed by the game platform owner who offered 100 million to buy the game. Making the six of us, who always eat instant noodles 3 meals a day, tremble. He accidentally spilled a glass of wine worth 680,000. He tried to stay calm, set the glass down, and said he was very sorry. We research games out of passion, not for money, but before he could finish, Ngo quickly added, is 150 million enough? This price made the little heart of the six of us beat wildly. It was an irresistible temptation. Unfortunately, this game is completely unsellable. Because Min Jioi is real, the game is tied to him. Besides, he is the one who holds the divine weapon of conquest, and no one can control it. Thinking this way, he covered his conscience and said frankly, to be honest, our group truly has no intention of selling the game. Passion and dreams are priceless. But inside, he felt a sharp pain. But that's 150 million. Ngo had never seen a young man so resolute. In the face of 150 million, he truly surpassed his peers in maturity and vision. It seemed he saw a younger version of himself in this young man. So he tried a different approach. If you agree to release the game exclusively on our platform, we will pay you 10 million each year. Six thought about it. He had promised Mai Lei he would reclaim Beijing. Even the entire Min Jioi, therefore. The number of players plays a decisive role in this. If you agree, Ngo will limit the number of players on Conquest Online. Then he decisively refused. I'm sorry, I still can't agree to your proposal. However, I am willing to release the game exclusively on your platform for 2 months. You just need to agree to promote our game on the homepage during that time. Ngo was immediately stunned. This young man was truly hard to deal with, completely unable to keep up with his pace, the one who always held the initiative in the negotiation. Then he raised his glass of wine. Although you are a cooperative partner who gives people headaches, I have decided to go through with this deal. I bet your game will be a huge success. Besides, no matter how your ranking is in this dual ranking, I will also give you a homepage position. Six thought, what is GG? It must be their highest-priced advertising form. Indeed, it is an important measure to attract players. Go home. The two took this opportunity to expand the game design. BAC Lei immediately proposed a plan in the past. Under the rule of Baek Ki-Vuong, there were 3 demon kings and 10 demon generals. After Baek Ki-Vuong died, the entire BAC Ki was divided into 13 regions, with the city of Minfu located in the east, surrounded by the demon general Satna 6 said so. The demon general Satna is the closest to us, right? I remember Baek Li said he could invade us at any time. Once the main city falls, everything will be over. And I will not be able to be reborn. So let's start the main quest from him. The level for opening the main quest is set at level 15. If the players' levels are too low, they definitely won't be able to kill any demons, let alone form a fighting force on a large scale. Now there's one more issue, how to easily create NPC bodies that allow them to have self-awareness. Baek Li patted his chest. Leave this to me. Min Jioi is the place where the gods return. We find newly born beings in the underworld who lack wisdom, then use divine weapons to restructure and transform them. Granting memories and new missions, we can post a quest asking players to help find those primordial beings. Then we'll create NPCs, everything will connect, and soon 2 people will set up a permanent quest in the online battle. Every time a primordial soul is found, it can be sold. At the shop, it costs 100 soul coins. Next, how to create an enticing game trailer to attract players to click on it. I feel like this shouldn't be too hard. It feels like the blood in my veins is boiling. But Ba Li says that to create a high-quality game trailer, it will definitely cost a lot of money. What can I do being this poor? This statement made the spirits of the 6 voids immediately dim, but the 6 voids still had a way without spending much money by hiring a professional team to make the GG, because in this world, from the mountains and rivers to every blade of grass that truly exists, I just need to use the conquering divine weapon to condense temporary might and restore the lost glory of the past. I saw the six voids wave the divine weapon, unleashing a massive amount of might from all directions, which immediately condensed over the central Ming mansion, forming a swirling black cloud that slowly descended. Enveloping the dilapidated Ming mansion, I continuously observed a white Ming mansion appearing before the two men who were descendants of the North Kai King in the Ming realm to shoot the promotional video. He used the divine weapon to transform himself, and countless dark energies condensed into a magnificent set of armor radiating black light on him, which deeply moved Ba Li. She hugged the thighs of the six voids and cried. His majestic appearance was exactly like the North Kai King of old. The six voids told her to step back because the form condensed from dark energy couldn't be maintained for long. Soon after, the six voids condensed a large amount of dark energy in front, creating countless, terrifying monsters. These monsters ranged from mountain-sized to those with long wings, all looking fierce and frightening. Meanwhile, Ba Li, without filming equipment, stood beside using a virtual hat to record the storyline. It began with a giant dragon with a fierce face roaring on the black cloud. North Kai King, do you think you can protect your people? I will take over all of North Ki. I saw the six voids transform into the North Kai King, confidently wielding an energy ball ready to fight. North Kai fears nothing. Accompanied by the heavy sound of stomping rows of armored warriors emerged from the black bones at the command of the six voids, hundreds of thousands of warriors surged forward from the ground. Fighting without fear of death, clashing with the enemy, the battle was extremely fierce. Shadows continuously fell from the sky, arms filled with wounds and severed. Countless warriors died in battle, while the opposing monster army also suffered heavy losses under the fierce resistance of the North Kai troops. The North Kai King stood atop a high pile of corpses. He coldly gazed at the black dragon in the sky, utterly bored. At the final stage of the battle, the great Dragon King directly appeared beside the North Kai King, covered in wounds. The air around was torn apart by the fierce breath of the black dragon as the battle was nearing its end. Suddenly, the North Kai King roared his body, igniting into a fireball that charged straight at the Great Dragon King, who was horrified. The head of the Great Dragon King was pierced instantly. But that still wasn't enough to kill him. It turned out the North Kai King had decided to die together with the enemy from the very beginning. The next moment, the massive fire enveloped thousands of miles. Countless monsters affected turned to dust, and the painful screams of the wicked dragon ceased at that moment. In the end, the North Kai forces still won this battle, but they had permanently lost their leader. The magnificent North Kai uniform of the North Kai King was also destroyed by the flames burned to ashes, signaling the departure of a wise king. It was the heartbreaking cry of a doll in the North Kai King's soul castle that also flew up to the forehead of the child, a soldier lifting the child who was a descendant of the North Kai King, shouting that the king is still here. Our new king will return. The next morning, Ngo Quoc Nat called an early meeting. A high-ranking official, La, came to the Tan Tui mission. What occasion is this for someone of your rank to attend alongside? Ngo Quoc Nat coldly replied, I was the one who invited him. The man immediately fell silent. Ngo Quoc Nat continued, because he was the first to discover it. When it comes to online battles, all the high-ranking officials start discussing how they've never seen a game that can capture attention like this one. It's that easy. But Ngo Quoc Nat quickly silenced everyone, saying, let me show you the latest CG of the game we just received. He told everyone to put on their VR headsets as he had uploaded the game's CG to a dedicated computer for the meeting. One person was very surprised that they were watching game CG at this level. This is the first time. Just a few minutes later, everyone was completely immersed in this CG. They kept crying out, asking Ngo Quoc Nat to introduce this game to them. After the meeting, Ngo Quoc Nat called, hey, we just watched this CG. Honestly, I can't believe you guys made this CG so quickly. You had it prepared in advance, right? The CG was really impressive. Everyone in our company praised the high-quality visuals and sound after watching it, but it still lacked one thing to be complete. Liu Wu immediately asked what was missing. Ngo Quoc Nat said it was the background music. Without the music to set the atmosphere, it was a pity that was the one thing you guys were missing, and Ngo Quoc Nat's words were very accurate. This made Liu Wu realize the problem. Biak Li was also excited. What should we do to get music for the game CG? The key issue is that I'm very poor. Liu Wu was very grateful and said, thank you for pointing that out, but this is indeed a big problem. An introduction without background music feels strange. If we expand the issue, there's also the theme music for the game. Is there a way to create music without spending too much money? Ngokwoknot smiled. Actually, this isn't a big problem. You just need to hire someone to compose the music, write the lyrics, and invite a big star to sing. Liu Wu replied, but I want players to experience the original game first. BAC Lee muttered beside him, just say it straight, that guy is poor. Ngokwoknot nodded, so that's it. Liu Wu's idea of not making game music stemmed from such unique thinking. Indeed, with the 100% realism of online warfare, Liu Wu's thoughts also made sense. I hadn't thought it through carefully. He then told Liu Wu about the game ratings, mentioning that 15 titles scored over 8 points, with 3 titles achieving 9 points. Their online warfare received a perfect score, 10 points temporarily at the top. Starting tomorrow, these 15 titles will enter the ranking, and the scores will be voted on by players. At that point, online warfare will officially launch. On our game platform, a man wanted to create an NPC in the game with a soul and self-awareness. He waved his hand, and a stream of blue light immediately gathered into shape. Before long, a handsome young man with long white hair wearing a long black cloak appeared before the two, but they hadn't had a chance to look at him much. Suddenly, a surge of powerful energy rose around them. Unexpectedly, the NPC that had just been born had such terrifying strength. At this moment, Baek Lee suddenly remembered that if he were a truly living creature with self-awareness, he might attack them. They only saw the NPC approach, then suddenly kneel down and bow his head, speaking in a tone full of reverence. Little Six Demon pays respects to the North King. Baek Lee was a bit surprised. It turned out Liu Wu had anticipated this and had everything set up in advance. Currently, the identity of the Little Six Demon is the adopted son of the North King. He waved his hand, signaling the Little Six Demon to continue fulfilling the North King's ambitions, so you must also work twice as hard to support me. Here it's entrusted to you. The Little Six Demon with self-awareness was moved to tears. I will definitely use my life to protect the North King and strive to support you, Liu Wu, in fulfilling the North King's wishes. The role of the Little Six Demon is similar to that of a village chief in other games, able to provide players with common knowledge about the North King. When players reach level 20, they can submit 50 soul coins to him to establish a guild. Meanwhile, many members of the Long Game Company cheered because their game Evolution of Natural Disasters scored high at 9.2, but the boss Li Tianha was not satisfied. Because it took a lot to create this game. They spent up to 7 years and put in a tremendous amount of effort, even feeling that their score was undervalued. He asked how much the game Rise of the Gods scored. The staff replied, 9.1. One employee chuckled. We lost to them, they must have worked hard to look like this. First place is definitely ours. But another employee interrupted him. But boss, first place is a game called Online Warfare that scored a perfect 10. Hearing this, Li Tianxia found it hard to accept at first. His only competitor was Rise of the Gods, but now suddenly a dark horse appeared. He read every word, Online Warfare 100% realism. Installation size 800 MB. Before long, his expression became blank. How could a game claim 100% realism with just 800 MB? It completely defied common logic. This must be a dark conspiracy. On the other side, Ngokwoknot was also filled with anticipation. In a few minutes, Online Warfare would launch on his gaming platform 173. But just then, the head of the game department, Li Tianxia, called Ngokwoknot. As soon as he answered, he heard a barrage of curses from Li Tianxia. You treat me like a brother, and yet you plot against me. Ngokwoknot guessed it was because Online Warfare was in first place, and Li Tianxia surely believed he had received many benefits. If a trash game like 800 MB could claim 100% realism and score a perfect 10, Ngokwoknot said, Li, just download it and try it out. This made Li Tianxia, who originally intended to confront him in person, suddenly stop. Ngokwoknot said nothing more and hung up. Li Tianxia hurried to his computer. Let's see what this Online Warfare is all about. He skimmed through the reviews from the evaluators and saw nothing but praise and a perfect score of 10. Li Tianxia gritted his teeth. This joke cost a lot in advertising. They even hired a professional team for the marketing. A trash game with only 800 MB claiming 100% realism was indeed a joke. He then decided to download the game and give it a try, putting on his headphones and starting the experience. After watching the introductory video, he entered the game. He noticed many players around him who had just stepped into the game. With current technology, achieving 100% realism in a game was impossible. But this game managed to do it. Not to mention the gameplay. Just the realism alone deserved a perfect score of 10. No exaggeration at all. The man logged into the virtual reality game with 100% realism just to expose the fraud, but unexpectedly he was called back by a warrior. The opponent was none other than the owner of the largest gaming platform in the country, Ngo Quoc Nhat, with a fortune of hundreds of billions. At this moment, Ngo Quoc Nhat said, "Why are you still hesitating? Hurry up, let's go kill some monsters. If we're too slow, we'll miss out." Li Tianxia was stunned. He never expected a billionaire boss would invite him to kill monsters. Now he understood why Ngo Quoc Nhat hurriedly hung up earlier. It was to go online and hunt monsters. A few minutes later, Ngo Quoc Nhat and Li Tianxia teamed up to hunt monsters. He urged, "Hurry up, Li. We just need to defeat the last soul monster to complete the side quest." Li Tianxia replied, "Just leave it to me, Mr. Ngo." But before he finished speaking, a huge guy with a shield charged at him and slammed into him. Li Tianxia didn't have time to react before the guy chopped him down with an axe. In front of him, the soul girl said, "Done here, monster defeated." At the same time, Li Tianxia was knocked back about 10 meters. He quickly stood up and warned Ngo Quoc Nhat, "Be careful, someone's coming to steal our monsters." But just as he finished speaking, a knife unexpectedly stabbed into his neck. Instead of worrying about his teammate, you should worry about yourself first. In no time, the system announced, "Player Diep Tuyet Nai has killed you. Dear player, you have died in the game. You must wait 3 hours to respawn." Li Tianxia was stunned. They dared to steal my monsters and even kill me. What's the point of this respawn system? Who designed this stupid feature? Who designed this stupid feature? This is just crazy. However, I have to say that this game is truly amazing. Even a seasoned game developer like me can get completely hooked without even realizing it. Looking at the reviews, it seems that both I and Brother Ngo were ambushed by monsters without even knowing it, which indirectly shows how popular the game is. However, right now on the game's global public channel, quite a few professional gamers have formed a guild and are recruiting members on the other side of the game through the calculations of the divine artifact. Some players, after logging in, have gone offline. This means they are in the resurrection period waiting after dying. In other words, the player retention rate for this game is at 100%. But I think that number is still too low. We need to attract more players. My Li once said that the Desert Army has over 500,000 mercenaries who could invade us at any time, so we need to bring in more players. We need to build a dominating army before that happens. Just then, Ngo Quoc Nhat called Six Vo and said, "This time you must help us, brother." Six Vo looked confused and asked, "Brother Ngo, what happened to you?" Ngo Quoc Nhat said, "While I was killing the soul monsters, I got ambushed and killed. Can you handle that? So please give me some soul currency. I want to buy some decent gear to take revenge. It shouldn't be too hard for you, right?" Six Vo looked at the amount of soul currency on the divine artifact and felt helpless. "Brother Ngo, to be honest, after the game entered the soul currency rotation, you can only earn it by fighting monsters. We in the development team have no way around it either. However, before launching the game, I saved 100 soul currency. Now I will give you that 100. There won't be any more later." Ngo Quoc Nhat seemed quite surprised. "In your opinion, after the game officially operates, everything will be out of the control of Team 5. Developing further right, Six Vo replied, "Exactly. Every development in the game happens spontaneously. Even we don't know what will happen next, so please understand, this uncle's assets are worth billions of dollars. He is the owner of the largest game platform in the country. But today I'm hiding with my teammates in the bushes, preparing to compete for the championship. Brother Lai, don't be hot-headed. If they fight for our gold spot, we will fight for theirs. But we need to choose the right moment to ambush. I used the 100 soul currency you gave me to buy this giant snake sword. It will definitely be a surprise." At that moment, from a distance, Diep Tuyet Nhi was killing monsters completely unaware of the two people lying in ambush in the bushes just as they were fighting monsters with remaining health. Ngo Quoc Nhat and Li Tianha exchanged glances. Li Tianha said, "Brother Li, this is the moment for revenge." In no time, the two warriors with their great swords jumped out from nowhere. Under the horrified gaze of the two, one strike landed directly on the man. The man screamed, "Miss, it's over!" It was the two people who had seen Diep Tuyet Nhi lightly jump back to avoid the blow, raising her middle finger at them. "You two idiots, you dare to ambush a warrior!" "Oh, you guys are really stupid." Ngo Quoc Nhat felt embarrassed. "Brother Li, why did you do that?" Li Tianha struggled to pull out his sword, cursing, "Damn it, I missed the strike." Then he said with delight, "But brother, no, now it's 2 against 1. The advantage is on our side." But just as he finished speaking, the elite monster with remaining health suddenly charged at them. All three looked up simultaneously, and the next thing was the system notification. "The zombie warrior has killed Ngo Kwok Nat. The zombie warrior has killed Lai Thien Ha. The zombie warrior has killed Diep Tuyet Ni." At that moment, a voice echoed throughout the area. These two idiots dared to let the Miss get attacked by a monster while still having health left. Killing the Miss, I can't swallow this humiliation. I must take revenge. I will take revenge. Ma Kwanjia, quickly call my brother and tell him to bring as many people here as possible. At the headquarters of the game platform, Ngo Kwok Nat called his assistant to arrange for the available staff to take a week off and wait for him in the large conference room. Meanwhile, Li Tianha suddenly patted an employee on the shoulder. Startled, the employee exclaimed, "I'm sorry, boss, I didn't mean to have breakfast in the office area." Li Tianha's eyes were bloodshot. "It doesn't matter, just tell everyone to bring their earphones." In virtual reality, preparing for battle, this is Diep then leading a few buddies to Diep Tuyet Noi's house. "Diep Tuyet Ni, I've brought everyone here." "Oh, who bullied you? We'll chop their heads off right now." Diep Tuyet Ni chuckled. "You really are my good brother coming so quickly." He ordered the butler. "Mo back, distribute these to everyone, okay?" "Each person gets one," Diep Than said. "Diep Tuyet Ni, we all have weapons already." Diep Tuyet Ni explained, "But knives can't be used. It has to be this one. I was ambushed by 2 jerks in the game, and they killed me when I had just a bit of health left. It was infuriating, wasn't it?" Diep Than looked dejected. "I'm so angry they're so bold." He shouted at his followers, "What are you standing around for? Get ready to enter the game. Everyone quickly choose your professions and gather up. Let's follow my sister and go take them down. If you don't help me take revenge, I'll see how you can show your faces." Thus, under the leadership of Diep Tuyet Ni, Diep Than and a few followers formed the Angel Guardian Guild, while Ngo Kwok Nat and Li Thien Ha led all the company employees to form the Revenge Guild. After just a midday nap, the man discovered that the virtual currency he created in the game was increasing in value. A player named Diep Tuyet Ni was frantically collecting soul currency, which had skyrocketed from a rate of 1 to 100 to 1 to 700. It turned out the game had only been open for 2 days and hadn't established an official guild yet. However, 2 factions had emerged, leading to conflicts over the initial monsters. Now, whenever they encountered each other in the fields, the 2 alliances would immediately rush into battle. Soul weapons could rapidly enhance strength, making them a crucial strategic resource. Both sides had wealthy players competing to gather them, causing the price of soul currency to soar several times over. Baklai's eyes lit up at this situation. "We'll get rich quickly. We can buy a lot of delicious food. Joining the army is also a must. Right, with the rate of 1 to 700, let's see how much soul currency we have now. It's equivalent to several million right away." But Bak Li hesitated. Although he really wanted to sell soul currency to buy delicious food, the soul currency was very important to them. What should they do? Liu Wu also felt helpless. When Ngo offered 150 million, I felt the same way. Building the Ming realm into a game aims to reconstruct the Bac Kai government, but it requires a lot of soul currency. We're still far from that goal. I'm just afraid we won't reach the target. Compared to that, real life is too hard. Therefore, I plan to sell 500 soul currency to get through these tough days. This amount won't affect much, Bak Li agreed. So Liu Wu disguised himself as an ordinary player using conquest weapons and entered his game to trade. Bak Li curiously asked, "By the way, what profession did Liu Wu choose?" As soon as he finished speaking, Liu Wu donned the gear of a newly started mage. The early-stage mage was very weak. Apart from the initial skill Yin Stone, he had no other attack skills. "But I'm just going to buy and sell. Getting killed by players shouldn't happen. Besides, mages have great potential. In the Ming government's library, there are many spells and strategies for the Ming realm. As long as we can rebuild the Ming government, those spells will be stored in the weapons. At that point, we can also design our skills and add skills to the store. The player's power will increase tremendously. Right now, mages are still weak, but later they will definitely be the highest damage dealers with the highest authority." Liu Wu directly opened the map. The flashing red dots indicated Diep Tuyet Ni's current location. He then wrote a phoenix from the yin energy to where Diep Tuyet Ni was. Bak Li watched Liu Wu's back, filled with secret admiration for his proficiency in using the conquest sacred weapon. A few minutes later, Liu Wu had arrived deep in the Ghost Soul mountain range. But you were stopped at the gate by Diep Tuyet Ni's people. You're not a member of the Revenge Guild, are you? I directly told them I was looking for Diep Tuyet Ni because I had soul coins to sell. In my heart, I sighed, not expecting that the conflict between factions in the game had become so intense in such a short time. This is something I didn't foresee. The man wanted to sell game currency right at the lair of the wealthy player. Diep Tuyet Ni, standing in the tree, asked, "Are you looking for me? Who are you? I don't know you." I said, "I heard you're collecting soul coins. I want to sell them at the current market price of 1 to 700. What do you think?" Diep Tuyet Nui slid down from the tree beside me. "How many do you have? I'll take them all." But inside she felt very uncomfortable. He was alone and also the weakest mage. Almost no one chose to be a mage, so how could he have so many soul coins? I said, "I have 500. Hearing that, Diep Tuyet Nai thought she misheard and immediately blushed. "Wait, did you say you have how many soul coins?" I was surprised. "I have 500 inches, but Diep Tuyet Nai suddenly became suspicious. How could an ordinary mage like you have 500 soul coins? I didn't want to explain, so I directly placed 500 soul coins on the trading window. "Check it out. Do you want them or not?" Seeing 500 soul coins on the window, Diep Tuyet Nai was completely stunned, because even including the soul coins she got from monster hunting, she only had about 60. Then she blushed and replied, "Okay, I'll take all of these soul coins." She could buy the high-quality red equipment she had wanted for a long time from the shop. I didn't say much and directly told Diep Tuyet Ni to go to the trading website where there was a guarantee from the platform, but Diep Tuyet Nai said it didn't need to be that complicated. "Just give me your account and I'll transfer the money right away." Seeing her so straightforward, I also sent her my account, but in my heart I was still very hesitant. 500 soul coins worth 350,000 wasn't a small amount. Perhaps the other party was so wealthy that they no longer considered 350,000 anything, while their companions were out earning money. Diep Tuyet Ni was very curious about how he had so many soul coins. This little mage got them from where I casually made up a story about a soul-collecting mission. I was lucky to run around and picked up 5 starting souls, sold them to the shop, and quickly earned 500 soul coins. My companions had earned enough money, and Diep Tuyet Nai didn't dig deeper. I said the money should be in the account now. "Let's check." At this moment, Bak Li reported to me that Diep Tuyet Nai was not a scammer. The entire amount had been successfully transferred. After that, I turned and walked away without needing to check anymore. If she trusts me, then I trust her. I had already transferred 500 soul coins to her. Hopefully, we still have a chance to cooperate. My companions thought that this man in real life must be very wealthy, spending 350,000 just to buy a 5-star meal for the girl beside him. But Diep Tuyet Ni didn't think so. It had nothing to do with money. The unique aura around him couldn't be measured by money. While Diep Tuyet Nai was still thinking, her companion shouted, "Sister Tuyet Nai, it's not good. The brothers are ambushed." Diep Tuyet Nai was startled. Was it the Revenge Guild again? She saw men lying flat with panicked expressions. They weren't NPC villains in the game. On the other side, hundreds and thousands of werewolf soldiers were slowly advancing with their leader shouting loudly. "Which demon general's lackeys are you to dare invade the territory of the Demon King, Satna?" The man selling game points earned 350,000 just to buy a 5-star meal for the girl beside him. Bak Li looked drooling, his eyes shining, shouting, "Delicious, delicious." I said, "Go ahead and eat as much as you want." The livelihood issue was temporarily resolved, but this only highlighted the importance of soul coins. Currently, we still had too few soul coins and needed to think of ways to gather enough. To rebuild the skill of summoning troops when this feature opens up, we would truly be powerful. One thing that worried me a lot was that when I logged out of the game, I found Diep Tuyet Nai's army was being attacked by demon soldiers. The little wolf rider attacked Bak Li, explaining that it was the Demon Wolf Cavalry Brigade of the Demon General Satna belonging to the evil faction. They commanded those demon wolves, I said. His forces have expanded from the Lu Li region to near Minpu now. It seems like we need to take action too. Bak Li feels that this can be easily resolved now that the number of players has increased and continues to grow. He can assign a mission to scout the territory of the Demon General Satna. This way, players can grasp the situation of the Satna faction through other players, while also encouraging them to become stronger to spend money on soul currency. 1 arrow hitting 2 targets, 6 Wu is awakening the holy weapon. That's impressive. He sets the mission level requirement at 15. If it's set too low, players will get killed quickly, which will make them lose confidence. After saying that, he activates the holy weapon conquest on his finger. Although among the players the strongest are only at the level of ordinary demon soldiers, the difficulty of this mission will definitely be quite high for them, but the characteristic of players is that they don't die. There's nothing better than scouting the strength of the demon army of Satna. Once we understand the situation, we will determine the attack strategy. At this moment, the system announces to the entire server. Player Tran Tu Vu with ID 1 Sword into Soul has established the guild Great Dragon. Six Wu remembers that he is one of the first professional gamers. He never expected that he has reached the required level. To establish a guild, it requires more than 20 members. Thinking this, Six Wu pulls back Li, who is enjoying his meal out the door, and shouts for the waiter to bring the bill. Bak Li is quite reluctant since he's enjoying his meal. At this moment, outside the gate of the Bak Ki Palace, it has become crowded. The people in line are orderly. They want to join the first guild in the game. They only accept players level 10 and above with real strength. Moreover, members of the guild must be level 15 and above, so be prepared. They are about to go on a scouting mission. At this time, Tran Tu Vu asks NPC 6 Ma, "What do you think about the demon general Satna who occupies the eastern part of Biakaki? How much do you understand?" 6 Ma immediately bursts with anger. "My father takes Satna very seriously, but he chose to betray for his own benefit. I want to personally kill him and capture that demon general who has an army of 500,000. He occupies the Lu Li area near the Huang Tuyen Sea to the east. If you want to scout, remember to be careful and keep yourself safe." Tran Tu Vu suddenly feels dazed. This NPC feels so human. He has emotions like a real person. The game is still extremely realistic. He no longer cares about an NPC character. In the guild chat of the game, he sends a voice message. "All members above level 15 of the Long Guild prepare to set off to complete the exploration mission." Tuye Lei also shouts along, "Let's go, completing the mission will reward us with 3 green equipment pieces." The 2 people behind the screen are also very surprised. The new mission has just been set up and the members of the Long Guild are eager to explore. Truly, professional players have high efficiency. Bak Li points at 6 Ma and says, "Look, 6 Ma is surrounded." This is an NPC with self-awareness in the game. Due to his handsome appearance, he is surrounded by a group of girls who even declare they will have monkey children with the demon. Bak Li looks gloomy. Now he understands why 6 Wu initially created male NPCs to attract female players and retain male players. 6 Wu thinks it's time to create a new NPC. He plans to make this character a mysterious merchant wandering everywhere, then randomly bring this character to a place where players can find this NPC. They can buy rare items not available in stores, which also enriches the joy of playing for players. After that, 6 Wu uses the vision of the Almighty. He brings the mysterious merchant to the place of billionaire Diep Tuye Nei. After saying that, "Let's go see how the Long Guild's exploration mission is progressing." However, Bak Li is very worried. Now players are in conflict with each other, fearing that later they will not be united to fight against the betraying demon. 6 Wu pats her head and says, Bak Li, don't worry. Your worries are unnecessary. You will understand on your own later." The scene shifts to the border area of Lu Li and Min Pu outside the camp of the demon knight Lang. Not a few demon soldiers are patrolling. This is Tuyet Lei returning after scouting. "Captain, I've finished scouting. This seems to be a forward camp, but inside there are about 2,000 demon soldiers." Tran Tu Vu is horrified. The number of demon soldiers is too overwhelming. "We can't handle this. Let's change direction and keep moving forward." But just then, a celestial wolf suddenly rushes towards them. Vuong Daimang is very angry. "You idiot, I told you to go immediately." Countless demon soldiers look up at Tran Tu Vu, who is peeking. Tran Tu Vu and his friends immediately shouted, "We're dead," and were discovered. "Brothers, let's run." But Tuyet Lei said, "Their captain rides a wolf. We won't escape. Vuong Daimang, draw your sword and fight. We're still good men. Let's take down a legendary one." "Take down 2 legendary ones," Tran Tu Vu ordered. "That's right, keep fighting them." Before long, the players clashed head-on with the demon cavalry and chaos erupted as horse and rider tumbled. After half an hour of fighting, Vuong Daimang was already covered in wounds. We brought along only players level 15 and above who have a certain fighting strength, but unfortunately our numbers are too few. It seems we're going to fail this time. As the strongest, Tran Tu Vu remained steadfast. "Don't talk too much. Hold your ground until the last minute." At this moment, 2 people behind were secretly observing, thinking that the reconnaissance mission was initiated too early. The long night is approaching, and in the darkness, the demon knights will have the advantage of visibility. The Great Dragon Guild is about to be wiped out, which affects the players' morale. What should we do? Like the 6 rogues, they think it's normal that the long night is coming. The fire is always in the hands of these players. Absolutely don't underestimate them. Just as he finished speaking, Diep Tuyet Nai led a few hundred people slowly saying, "Brothers, let's kill the rebel forces from Bak Ki and avenge our fallen comrades. Cleanse the humiliation of the past." Bak Li noticed Diep Tuyet Noi's equipment and finally understood why the 6 rogues sold her 500 soul coins. It was to enhance her strength and support her, but the 6 rogues said it wasn't just him. Soon after, An Ngo and Li Thian-ha also led their Revenge Guild to attack Bak Li, adjusting their armor. The Angelic Guardians and the Revenge Guild are not sworn enemies, right? Why set aside old grudges and come here together? Then she looked at the 6 rogues with admiration. 6 rogues really planned this out just like the Great Lord of Bakkai from back in the day. These 2 alliances were originally sworn enemies. They would attack as soon as they saw the enemy, but today, to eliminate the NPC villain Demon Cavalry, they had to temporarily cease hostilities. Ngo Kwok insisted, "Let's take down the enemy first. We'll deal with our rivals later." Diep Tuyet Nai coldly replied, "Agreed. Facing the wandering demon cavalry, let's set aside our rivalry and charge into the demon forces. If we don't plan for this, we won't be able to win. The unity of the players is essential. Secondly, we need a strategy capture the bandits before the king." At the same time, Diep Tuyet Nai's gaze was fixed on the distant demon general. Wearing heavy armor, she leaped to attack, but in response to Diep Tuyet Nai's assault, the demon general merely showed disdain, reaching for the huge blade on his back. In an instant, Diep Tuyet Nai's figure appeared, the blade swung up suddenly, and a gust of blade energy shot straight into the sky. Diep Tuyet Nai was stunned to see such a massive weapon being wielded so quickly. At this moment, Diep Tuyet Nai couldn't dodge in time as the blade swung straight at her face. The scene before her gradually darkened. Unexpectedly, the newly bought equipment couldn't withstand a single blow. Seeing her health bar wiped out, Diep Than, who was surrounded, erupted in fury. He roared, "Dare to touch my sister, brothers, follow me," and charged to avenge Tuyet Nai. At this moment, the brothers around him rallied to help him charge forward. Seeing their master's rage, they also roared, "Let's take down the bandits first. The king can wait. If the younger brothers die, it's no big deal." As long as they could kill the demon general and drag him down to the underworld, but the demon general refused to retreat and instead advanced, wielding his weapon, launching a wave of black blade light that swept through. Instantly taking down a large formation of players, Tran Tu Vu tried to block the attack, but his condition wasn't much better than that of the other players who weren't so lucky. Instantly taking down a whole team, the player Tran Tu Vu tried to withstand the blows, but his condition wasn't any better than the others who were less fortunate. As the demon general wiped out the blood, the body instantly turned to dust. At that moment, Kwoknat roared, leading the charge, determined to take down the old man. The others didn't need to worry. They just had to kill this general. Even though he was an old general on the battlefield, seeing the heavy losses of the demon army still moved him. At that moment, the demon general looked up at the sky and cried out in despair. Around him, a circle of light appeared, and in that moment, he entered a state of rage. No matter how many spider ants there were, they were useless. As soon as he finished speaking, the circle of light exploded. It sent all the players around, flying weapons raised high, and the beams of light crisscrossed continuously. The immense power pierced through the clouds, instantly sweeping away all the players nearby. Standing behind and observing, he was shocked. The player formation was completely annihilated. This was truly a one-sided massacre. Perhaps he had underestimated the power of the demon general at that moment. This was just one demon general, yet he had overwhelmingly defeated the strongest players. So if it were the most powerful demon general, could he single-handedly wipe them out? All the players in the game seemed to need to continue developing, and the Eastern Lu Li had temporarily not needed to consider conquest. After that, he told the developer to design a video recording feature in the game, as this would be more beneficial for promoting and showcasing the game to attract more new players. 3 days later, in the public announcement of the game, the price of soul currency had been raised to 1 to 800. This faction was also recruiting strong players for the reconnaissance mission from a few days ago. It had turned into a direct confrontation between the 3 major alliances. However, thanks to this, they had basically set aside their conflicts and started to develop peacefully. We heard that it was because the strongest players were currently involved. The 3 major alliances had conducted negotiations and decided to temporarily set aside their disputes to unite first and eradicate the demon camp at the border. Lu Li and the others said, "That's not all. Look closely at the comments on the forum. The buying price of soul currency has risen again." "We're going to get rich again," he replied. "That's right." The video recording feature in the game had also taken effect, and the number of players had increased to 150,000. The emergence of online conquest had also attracted many hackers. However, what shocked them was that this game could not run in multiple windows and even could not allow others to borrow accounts. No matter how they tried, they could not break this game. It should be known that online conquest was essentially a soul-binding game. Unless players had 2 souls, the number of players gradually increased, leading to many skilled players emerging. Among the skilled players on the forum, 3 caught his attention, one of whom was named Nap Lan Lan, who drew maps of the area and the types of monsters in the U-Soul Mountains. Along with the weaknesses of each type of monster, there was another player named King Dwarf, who after the recording feature opened, shared the map he discovered on the game forum. It was said that when he entered the game, he hardly fought monsters and just explored this world with a tourist mindset. The map of King Dwarf revealed the area around the Ming fortress completely. 4 wilderness areas appeared, with the U-Soul Mountains being the most familiar to players and the nearby Lang Ra Plains. Ahead was a breathtaking cliff and a forest of death. However, the one who caught our attention the most was a player named One Punch One Kick, who said he used to be a firefighter. In a rescue mission, he lost an arm and a leg. Although he was called a hero, only he understood the pain and he gradually became desperate. Then, by chance, he played the game to numb himself in the virtual world. At least in the game, he was still a complete human, but all of this was still a lie. There was no real feeling like having prosthetic limbs until he touched our game online conquest. The feeling was completely real, bringing him to tears. For the first time, he felt a true existence after losing body parts. Hearing this, tears streamed down the developer's face, so the game could also bring a new life, and a completely new hope for others. The Northern Army and Northern King would surely be proud of us. Reading the feedback from players, he also had new thoughts. The game Online Conquest did not necessarily have to belong to the fighting genre. It could also be freely entertaining. For example, in the future, if they conquered the Lu Li area of the Demon General, players who enjoy fishing could completely fish in the Huang Tuyen Sea next to the Lu Li area, where there were many rare fish that could even increase overall health. Or, for example, under the treacherous cliffs of the Demon King's territory, there were many dark areas that were good for nurturing newborn creatures if they could conquer that land. There might even be a feature to raise pets, allowing players to have creatures that help them fight on the battlefield. You could say this underworld is full of endless possibilities. As long as the player's imagination reaches out, it can develop into gaming fun. We believe that with the gradually expanding open-world map, more and more players will flock to our game. Love the vehicles in this world. The scene shifts to the orange-tinted realm of the Luminous Realm and the Demon Commander leading the army closer and closer. One subordinate says, "Commander, ahead is the area of the Luminous Realm of the former Northern Kingdom. Those creatures claiming to be players have been here since the battle a few days ago. They no longer engage us directly, but use small groups to constantly provoke us near our camp, initially thinking that after a few bloody eliminations, those weak trash would be scared off. But their harassment has only increased, which certainly provokes the Demon Commander. This time, he leads all his subordinates to the gates of the Luminous Realm to scout. However, as the army crosses the boundary, the once clear sky suddenly darkens, causing the Demon Commander to unconsciously recall the king who once ruled. In Northern Kingdom land, for thousands of years, he has suppressed the fear within. But hearing the voices of the players, the demon soldiers actively leave the camp and approach here. Who would have thought that the NPC's hatred could be drawn so far? Listen up, we are the descendants of the Northern Kingdom. You traitors, wash your necks and prepare to die. Especially you, the one in charge, come here. The Demon Commander Furious says, "What do you mean, descendants? I witnessed the fall of the Northern Kingdom. Kill them all." As his words ended, a great battle erupted once again between the demon cavalry and the players in the camp. On the other hand, the doctor has also realized that something is off. The 6 demon cavalry are crossing the boundary, actively attacking players who are being slaughtered mercilessly, but the 6 only smile, lightly knowing there's nothing to worry about. Everything is part of my plan, while those players who provoked earlier, soon enough they were completely wiped out by the demon cavalry, and all that could be seen was the demon commander raising his sword and shouting from afar, continuing to advance towards the Min Palace in Bak Ki, preparing for slaughter. In an instant, thousands of demon cavalry began to swing their weapons, charging towards the Min Palace. He was originally the leader of the demon cavalry in the ghostly area, the demon commander Mt. But when he reached the gates of the Min Palace in Bak Ki, he was startled. Just a glance revealed at least 100,000 people. Even the demon commander with 1000 against 100 would feel the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. He continuously ordered a retreat, but at that moment, figures appeared from behind the demon commander, once again forming a wall of people. It turned out that those previously solitary players were just a distraction. The goal was to lure the demon commander here. The two also gave orders, and at that moment, the campaign for total annihilation officially began. As the words ended, the crowd of players surged like a flood, surrounding and attacking. The demon commander, Bak Li, asked the six, "Is this the plan you mentioned?" The six replied, "Yes, exactly." After failing in the previous campaign, the three alliances reached an agreement on the forum. They put this annihilation campaign on the game forum. I just highlighted it a bit. 1 against 10 isn't scary. What's scary is that the demon army has to face hundreds. My 150,000 troops in Bak Kai can't be wiped out. In an instant, his demon cavalry still had many on this battlefield, and the demon general was very troubled. They had no formation, no command, and no skills. They relied entirely on their horses. For these demon creatures, although they are ferocious and bloodthirsty, they also fear death. But this time they were completely fearless. None of them feared death. Even though the demons had an advantage in strength against such a continuous wave of attacks, they were completely helpless. Soon enough, the demon general's health was down to 40%, and at the same time, he entered a frenzied state. Diep Tuyet Ni, we meet again. This time, I will definitely take revenge for this move. Everyone is very clear about it. Ngokwok, be careful. Last time he used this move to take down quite a few of our brothers. The demon commander also recognized the two. Why are you here? It can't be. A few days ago, I clearly killed you. The demon general seemed desperate. He discovered that they could resurrect infinitely, and their fighting spirit was weakening, but these gamers were getting crazier. UAC Len, we need to deal with this demon general. Soon the fire in the demon general's eyes began to shrink, and before he ran out of strength, the demon general emitted a green glow, sending the surrounding players flying. The boss of the demon cavalry has been defeated. The attributes of the demon commander Bin Min Dao increased by 18 points. The weapon skill Fong Nha can be activated once every hour. It deals double damage at a weak range. Equipment level requirement for the warrior profession is 30. The attributes of the demon commander Jiop True increased defense by 105 points. Equipment skill Kwang Mok requires equipment. Any profession that reaches level 25 can use the Mafu number 1 part of the equipment set, which can be sold in the shop for 500 soul coins. The six were watching the match, very curious about who the player was. Who was lucky enough to land the final blow? Six was very surprised. Bak Li, what's going on? Where did these items come from? Bak Li explained, "You mentioned wanting to set up some hidden professions. Right now the opportunity has come. This Mafu was crafted by the number 1 blacksmith in Bak Ki, used to create items for special warriors. As long as we obtain this Mafu, I'm sure we can develop an upgrade system for the warrior profession. This is a special warrior system created by blacksmiths in Bak Ki. They call it the Enchanted Warrior, and during the forging process, various materials must be combined with the one being forged. Although the process is quite complex, in the end, it brings out the warrior's strength. The resulting weapon will be terrifying. With the existing battle weapons, we can skip many complex processes. We just need to study the enchantments carefully and embed the samples into the weapons. This can create a hidden profession of the Enchanted Warrior. Furthermore, the upgrade system for this profession not only levels up, but also collects enchantments. Each enchantment added significantly boosts the warrior's power. Bak Li sighed, wondering when the players would sell the enchanted items to the shop. But just then, Six Vo raised his hand and the green glow of the enchanted item sparkled in his palm. This item was currently useless to the players, so selling it to the shop for 500 soul coins seemed more reasonable. And so the next day in the game, a notification suddenly appeared. The warrior profession had a successor class, the Great Serpent, which was an assassin. He immediately excitedly put on his gaming helmet ready to play. But he quickly remembered, wait, I'm an assassin. Why am I so happy anyway? The warrior has a successor class, so the assassin must be getting one soon too. Let's take a look first and think later. The enchanted warrior pursues ultimate power, going mad and using his own body to inscribe the enchantments of heaven and earth, training the body to be the strongest. Each different enchantment adds personal strength, which increases dramatically while also granting the unique skills of the enchantments. The complete weapon and armor require the initial profession to be a berserker and reach level 30. When the introduction disappears, the enchanted warrior begins to move. The power enchantment is on his body began to shimmer. Moments later, he punched the ground hard, sending a cloud of dust flying. A large pit immediately appeared and cracks began to spread around. The enchanted warrior's defensive enchantment roared, and the emerald light shone brilliantly. He crossed his arms in front of his chest, and a bow of blue light instantly surrounded his body. At the same time, a figure holding a staff appeared, hovering above a series of meteors formed from dark energy falling from the sky. However, the attacks hitting the blue light shield could not penetrate its defense at all, bouncing off the surface after the defensive enchantment demonstration ended. The enchanted warrior activated the speed enchantment, and the emerald light shone brightly. A blue eagle aura enveloped the enchanted warrior, and his figure instantly vanished from sight. After the demonstration ended, the game introduction once again displayed the history of professions, which had many development modes. As levels increased, the number of embedded enchantments could also increase. After watching the entire demonstration, Vuong Daimong suddenly shouted, "I've chosen the wrong profession! Can we change it in time?" It completely overturned my perception of the warrior. The system continued to announce this update's content, adding the ability to change from berserker to warrior. The enchantment also added an NPC guide for changing professions, requiring players to complete a quest to successfully change their profession. 6vo rubbed Bak Li's head, surprised that just one enchantment could lead to a new profession. Bak Li blushed a little. "Now I'm researching the inheritance profession of the mage." Later, 3 inheritance paths for the mage will be introduced for players to choose from. The mage will soon have 3 inheritance paths focusing on control and status, simply the curse line. Then there's the damage-focused line, the monster line, and finally the transformation line, the metal monster line. Each line has its own characteristics and is very powerful. 6vo asked, "What about the assassin? What will the assassin's inheritance be like?" Bak Li hesitated for a moment. I'm still considering. The professions I create all require special materials to combine, which is equivalent to creating a new body template for the players. It's not just a matter of adding something. Therefore, each inheritance profession must be thought out carefully and researched thoroughly multiple times. 6vo felt a bit heartbroken. She always tries to research alone. Is there anything I can do to help? Bak Li smiled. You just need to buy a lot of delicious food every day. Researching this is very brain-intensive. I need all kinds of tasty food to replenish my nutrition. When I saw her, I couldn't help but laugh. She just wanted to eat well. All right, I promise I'll definitely buy it for you. Moving to the coastal area of the Underworld, a deep voice echoed from the sea. One of the leaders kneeling on the ground responded. The Underworld Lord said that as long as you offer 100,000 souls as tribute each year, the Underworld will recognize you as the ruler of the realm. Hearing this, a flame of anger ignited in the eyes of the Underworld Lord. When the Northern Kingdom was still in power, why didn't he dare to act so boldly? You think I'm easy to bully? The Soul Messenger, dressed in a black cloak, trembled. The Underworld Lord said to temporarily accept his request, but once I reach the level of a demon king, I will demand repayment for this debt. The Soul Messenger nodded, seemingly recalling something. The Underworld Lord asked, "The third demon's soul has extinguished." The Soul Messenger replied, "Yes, the third demon. Isn't he stationed at the boundary of the realm and the Underworld such a safe area? Why did he die?" The Soul Messenger shook his head. Not only did he die, but it seems all his subordinates have also perished, as no one returned to report. It's suspected to be the work of the Northern Region's Demon King. The Underworld Lord said again, "No, it can't be him. He wouldn't be foolish enough to confront me right after taking over the Northern Region. It must be another force. You investigate it yourself. I want to know who's secretly targeting me." Meanwhile, a video of the battle between players and the Demon Commander was uploaded to a major video website, and the number of players in the online battle has reached 200,000, and the amount of soul currency that the Underworld Lord possesses has also exceeded 50,000. He decided to spend 50,000 soul currency to renovate the Underworld under the control of the Underworld Lord's divine weapon. A massive amount of soul energy surged from the ring, soon enveloping the abandoned underworld. Then a strange scene, half illusion, half reality, appeared, a brand new, magnificent black structure. It emerged from the ruins. Two people pushed open the large door of the treasure hall within the underworld. Before them lay countless books and documents containing all the cultivation methods and combat techniques that the Northern Kingdom's lord had collected throughout his life. The elder said, "Next we will open the treasure hall for players. It should be renamed." The Underworld Lord had already thought of a name for the players' cultivation hall, so it will be called the Cultivation Hall. As soon as he finished speaking, the divine weapon in the Underworld Lord's hand moved, and a massive amount of soul energy surged from the ring, quickly rearranging and renovating everything inside the old treasure hall. It transformed into a more suitable place for players full of colorful and magical elements. The Underworld Lord finally understood that the cultivation hall truly existed within the divine weapon along with the books inside. They had become shadowy figures. Players could click on these figures to view detailed explanations and demonstrations of the skills. The Underworld Lord immediately smiled. There was no need to search for each book. Just asking these shadowy figures was very convenient. However, to learn here, players still had to pay soul currency. The Elder nodded. Of course, besides needing soul currency, there were also level restrictions. For some players, even if their bodies were upgraded and enhanced, they still couldn't withstand certain powerful spells. Inside the man's mind, he spent 50,000 soul currency to rebuild the underworld, even renovating the cultivation hall for the second time. The Underworld Lord temporarily divided this area into 3 major professions: warriors, mages, and assassins. Each major profession was further divided into 5 smaller areas: beginner cultivation area, intermediate cultivation area, and advanced cultivation area, the spirit cultivation area, and the elemental cultivation area. Furthermore, due to the large number of players, the divine weapon opened several parallel spaces here, each capable of holding up to 1000 players. This is equivalent to setting up different channels in the game. After the Underworld Lord finished arranging everything, a notification appeared announcing the official start of learning skills. All players who reach level 20 can go to the cultivation hall to choose their combat skills to comprehend. However, not long after the announcement was made, many players rushed to the cultivation hall, and almost all of them were mages, with mages specializing in summoning ghost soldiers, controlling ghost soldiers, and condensing ghost warriors to serve the power of each ghost warrior. To summon a maximum of 10 level 20 ghost warriors, you need to have a level 1 player's strength, and you can learn the skill that doubles the number of summons each time you level up. The necromancer's skill, Evil Thought, creates a toxic aura that continuously deals damage over a wide area, and you can only learn this skill at level 20. Each level up can increase the area and power of the Evil Thought skill, summoning wandering demons that protect the necromancer's body. You can only learn this skill at level 30. The power of the demon skill is unpredictable and influenced by environmental factors. The higher the level, the stronger the demon becomes. Previously, the necromancer profession was not valued. Even reaching level 20 only grants useless skills. Now a series of skills for the necromancer has appeared, and those necromancers who were always neglected like outcasts brought tears to everyone's eyes. Finally, this terrible operator remembered this profession. This made Bak Li, one of the operators, sweat profusely. It seems that the necromancer players from before are very resentful about this. I just saw Bak Li waving his hand, saying to move on. Let's continue upgrading the online battle to the next step to save players' travel time. He has spent 5,000 soul coins to build the teleportation station. Placed in key areas between the entrance of the Soul Mountain and the Underworld, this is definitely good news for players because each time they respawn at the Soul Mountain, they can craft items. They have to spend a lot of time traveling due to the desire to inherit the warrior profession, and the players with this profession began to leave the underworld. They are looking for materials to change professions in the wild. Building the teleportation station will greatly increase their efficiency, requiring the first stage of the warrior profession inheritance. Hunting designated monsters requires stage 2 to collect materials for crafting charms. They must complete one of the 2 materials that make up the power charm, which is the black stone mined from the lapis lazuli mine. The lava core is mined from the wolf fang mine, and the black armor fragment is mined from the fireland. The materials that make up the rubber stone charm are mined from the water mine. The soul core is mined from the deep water river, and the death stone drops when killing the soul demon, along with many materials for the destruction charm. This is required for stage 3 of the warrior profession inheritance. Profession change successful. Unlocking the profession upgrade mode, Bak Lee said, so even though the initial investment for the teleportation station is huge, it's definitely worth it. Each time they have to pay a soul coin for the teleportation fee. With so many players, they will surely recover soon, so they are adding the long-awaited live stream feature. This will allow dead players in the game, those who are in cooldown, to have a place for entertainment. Then he sets up 6 types of gifts and allows any reward items. He will also collect a 50% service fee in an underground research room where the virtual game cabins are flashing lights during the final testing phase of the researcher. An elderly man with white hair looked bewildered at the lights slowly turning on excitedly, saying that this virtual game cabin combined with nutritional services has succeeded. It allows players to stay in for 24 hours without any impact on their bodies. We have succeeded. Soon, Chairman Tran called an emergency meeting saying that he just received good news from our virtual game cabin research department. We have finally succeeded. So next, we should find game companies to collaborate with, using their reputation to open up the market and find more agents. At that moment, the secretary rushed in, saying urgently that it was not good, Chairman Tran. The Tip Duke Company from Country A just announced the virtual game cabin at their press conference. He connected the tablet to the projector in the meeting room, showing the press conference as everyone had been waiting for a long time. The Tip Duke Company's virtual game cabin has successfully been researched. After countless data checks, I assure you of the stability of the cabin. On the other end, Ngo Kwok also called, saying to quickly check the news about Tiep Duke announcing the virtual game cabin. Then you can experience the game for 24 hours. Just now, the operation department of Tiep Duke contacted me hoping I could promote collaboration, so I invited 30 major game companies, including the old ones. Remember to be on time tomorrow morning. 6 agreed, then hung up. He excitedly mentioned that for the player's health, there had to be a limit of 12 hours of gameplay in the virtual game cabin. The opportunity for our player faction to develop faster has arrived. The next day at the company headquarters, many famous game developers from the country were present. The representative from the Tiep Duke Company arrived right on time, looking somewhat annoyed that Chairman Ngo had not yet opened the meeting. Who else are we waiting for at this moment? Ngo Kwok Not looked worried. Occasionally glancing at the clock, but still not seeing 6 not long after 6 entered, holding hands with Bak Lie, saying, "We got stuck in traffic. Sorry for being late." Ngo Kwok Not didn't blame him. As long as he arrived, that was enough. Please take a seat. But he also brought the girl along. We didn't arrange any extra seats. We only saw 6 sit down saying, "It's fine," while lifting Bei Si Lai onto his lap, saying, "My little sister doesn't like being alone." This made the corner of Chairman Ngo's mouth twitch slightly. That girl Olasa began to speak, and Olasa nodded, "All right." Everyone knows that our Tiep Duke Company is a leader in the virtual reality field, being the first in the world to create something more advanced than virtual reality headsets. That is the virtual game chamber. This self-praising speech lasted for an hour. At this point, Bac Lee had rested her head on 6's shoulder, sound asleep, and the meeting was nearing its end. The cooperation request that Olasa put forth was, game developers must submit 20% of their profits each year as a platform fee for their game chambers. Hearing this, the representatives from the game companies widened their eyes in shock, and the atmosphere in the meeting room fell silent for a moment. At this moment, someone spoke up. "We are really interested, but submitting 20% exceeds our budget. We need to report this to the board chairman." Olasa coldly replied. "As long as our virtual game chamber launches, countless gamers will flock to it, and any game that gets onto our platform will definitely make a fortune." In her heart, she thought she could outdo all the game companies, let alone 20% even higher demands they wouldn't be able to refuse. But just then, 6 suddenly spoke up. "I'm not interested, I'm out." Olasa smiled lightly. "Sir, do you have any questions about our cooperation request? Or do you not understand what we're saying?" At this moment, Bak Lee rubbed her eyes, her hands messing up the mood beside Ngo Kwok Not, who was stunned. 6, don't rush to refuse. This is a business negotiation. If the conditions aren't right, we can still negotiate slowly. After all, for any game company, this is also an opportunity. Olasa's gaze changed suddenly, staring at him. "Sir, please think carefully before making a decision." But 6, feeling unbothered, stood up straight. "No need for that, girl. I'm stating my thoughts clearly. I refuse this cooperation." He turned away majestically. "Sorry, Mr. Ngo. Just like when I refused his buyout offer, he wouldn't share the benefits of the online battle with anyone else. That would be an insult to Team 5. Our development and ideals will lead the way. This man is live streaming taming a wild beast as a mount. First he tied it up using force to suppress it, then lured it with food, watching the beast become weaker. The taming rate reached 60%, about to succeed. Then a stream of black air appeared from nowhere, causing the surrounding trees to wither visibly. Even the wild beast, tied to the tree, instantly turned into a white skeleton. Before long, a soul messenger in a black cloak hovered in the air. The man live streaming immediately drew a long sword. "DM, are you looking for death?" The soul messenger stretched out two hands, and streams of black air quickly shot out from behind him, turning into sturdy black vines that tightly bound the three players in place. The three struggled. "What the hell is this black smoke? Why can't we escape? What is that guy?" The horrified eyes of the soul messenger suddenly flashed, and he spoke in a hoarse voice. "Now I ask you, answer me. Where do you come from? Do you know why the demons are stationed here? You will die." "Those players aren't fools, so you must be one of the demon generals." In an instant, I only see the soul-reaping messenger raising their hand, repeating the same words. "I ask you, and you answer." At this moment, the black vines are tightening around the man with golden hair, making him feel suffocated. Don't let the dark clouds and vines tighten any further as the three of them face each other. Are we done for? Maybe so. The creditor has come knocking. I remember back then I even posted a picture of that demon overseer. The soul-reaping messenger was stunned. "Did you kill the demon overseer?" "It's impossible. With your strength, how could you kill the demon overseer?" The man with golden hair shrugged it off, saying he was just an NPC. "If you have the guts, let us go." "Wait until I finish my transformation. I'll take you on." The other two chimed in, pleading, "Don't kill us. We hold grudges. Anyone who kills us will get back at them. Don't make a mistake." Hearing this, the fire in the soul-reaping messenger's pupils blazed. "Do you know who I am? I am the soul-reaping messenger under the command of Lord Shana, responsible for collecting souls. If you meet me, you have no chance of becoming a primal soul," after saying that he used the black vines to invade their bodies. However, the soul-reaping messenger quickly discovered that the souls of these three could not be absorbed, as if a great power was holding their souls firmly in their flesh. "If that's the case, I'll directly destroy your flesh and see where your souls can run to." Saying this, he swung his hand again, and the black vines immediately transformed into sharp thorns. They instantly tore apart the three players on the spot, and soon the corpses on the ground turned to smoke and vanished. This scene puzzled the soul-reaping messenger. Not only did no spiritual energy escape, but the original souls that had melded into their flesh also disappeared along with their bodies in a strange manner. This completely contradicts the laws of the Underworld. Living beings in the Underworld die. Their souls enter the cycle of reincarnation, and spiritual energy disperses into the heavens and the earth. But the current situation completely violates this law. While pondering, a few more players appeared, behind one of whom spoke up, still thinking that this soul-reaping messenger was an NPC, secretly a mysterious merchant officially announced. The golden-haired guy forgot he was acting. The soul-reaping messenger asked if he was the mysterious merchant. I read on the forum that a lucky guy once met the mysterious merchant. He bought a piece of material for his warrior's spell for 5 soul coins and then sold it for over 100 soul coins. This time we're going to get rich. He was originally the soul-reaping messenger under the demon general Shana, responsible for collecting souls, but now the players mistook him for an NPC, a hidden mysterious merchant. I only saw the man place a hand on his shoulder. "Hey, buddy, are you selling? Let's make a deal once to get acquainted and twice to get close. Everyone meeting is fate. Can you give us a discount?" At this moment, the soul-reaping messenger was completely furious. He doubted whether the brains of these strange beings were stuffed with toxic gas. Their words were utterly meaningless. Then he released the black energy within him coldly, saying, "Do you know how the demon general in charge here died?" But the fool still thought the opponent wanted to show off their strength before selling, and a sidekick suggested complimenting him a bit to make him happy, then asking for a discount. Hearing this exchange, the soul-reaping messenger immediately raised 5 fingers. "Let these fools die." In no time, the black energy turned into sharp spikes, killing 5 people. But the souls and their soul energy vanished the moment they died. The soul-reaping messenger seemed to think of something. Then he transformed into a shadow and rushed toward the underworld in the human world. Bak Li, munching on snacks, said, "Luke Vo, someone is coming to investigate Shana." Luke Vo nodded. "What exactly is this soul-reaping messenger?" Bak Li explained that the soul-reaping messenger is the highest position under the Demon King and Demon General, responsible for collecting souls. Each Demon King and Demon General has a soul-reaping messenger, and their powers very skilled in magic related to blood marks. Luke Vo didn't understand much about souls. Bak Li continued to explain that this is equivalent to money in the real world. In Back Key, there are many areas that can produce and can also be harvested by folk creatures different from Lin and primordial spirits similar to a type of material. It can be used for cultivation and also for forging weapons. The Demon Kings and Generals still haven't taken over Minfu because this area is the most resource-scarce in all of Back Key. It's where materials are the scarcest, and then Back Lai devoured the soul of the envoy. The soul envoy can enter the ghostly energy at any time. With the current strength of the players, it's very difficult to kill him. After saying that, Bei Si Li froze in place. She seemed to sense something. A moment later, she turned her head and said, "Six Wu, he's coming." The soul envoy has arrived at Minfu. At the same time, at the main gate of Minfu, a dark shadow slowly appeared. How could this be? Minfu had been destroyed in countless battles, yet it was now being repaired. At this moment, the soul envoy was filled with fear. Could it really be the king who controls Minfu? Is he back? No way. I witnessed the death of the Basikai king. I even remember the feeling of spiritual power dissipating at the moment he died. In the realm of Min, a figure gradually appeared. The soul envoy suddenly sensed the ghostly energy gathering behind him. He quickly turned around and looked towards a spot in Minpu. Who is pretending to cast spells? Soon a majestic voice echoed from the deep darkness. Who do you say I am? The soul envoy immediately trembled inside. Then he bowed his head and knelt on the ground, his body trembling uncontrollably, paying respect to the return of the traitorous King Ngo. Seeing the former king of the Min realm return, he was so scared that he knelt on the ground. I, your humble servant, ask for forgiveness for my sins. Please forgive me, King Ngo, for my many years of loyal service. Do not punish my soul. But in his heart he had other intentions. Death could at least lead to rebirth, but if punished, the soul would vanish. Only to see Baki King extend his hand. You betrayed me. Can you escape so easily? Hearing this, the body of the soul envoy trembled. I beg for King Ngo's forgiveness. The soul envoy is ready to atone for his betrayal. At this moment, Biak Li was hiding to the side, her eyes wide open. 50. I didn't expect Six Wu to use the form of Back Key King to deal with the soul envoy. Initially, Six Wu wanted the soul envoy to commit suicide to atone, but then he thought of another idea. How will you atone? The soul envoy hurriedly replied, Your humble servant asks to help King Ngo reclaim the lost lands and restore glory to your majesty. But just as he finished speaking, the soul envoy was startled, standing up straight, pointing at Six Wu. You are not the Biasiki King. The real Back Kai King would never spare me even if he saw me as useful. Who are you? Why are you here? How do you repair Minfu? What does the death of the third demon have to do with you? Seeing the plan exposed, Six Wu also frankly admitted. That's right, the demon general is mine to kill, and next will be the Iron Man. The tone of the soul envoy became calmer. You dare to do such bold things. But Biak Kai is not a place where you can run rampant. Saying that, he quickly raised both hands. A stream of black fire erupted from the ground, and the figure of Bac Kai King was shattered by the black fire, immediately turning into white smoke and drifting away. Is that all you need to kill me? Then the true form of Six Wu appeared behind him. I am really not the Bac Kai King, but I have his bloodline. This Bac Kai Emperor will be succeeded by me. Before he could finish his sentence, Bak Li bit down on his hand. The soul envoy won't easily trust you like that. If you want him to obey, you need to prove that you are truly a descendant of the Bac Kai King. At this moment, the soul envoy was about to mock him, but suddenly saw drops of blood floating in the air. He extended his palm to catch a drop of blood, feeling the surge of power from it. Are you really a descendant of the Bac Kai King? The sixth void continued to take on the form of the Bac Kai King, saying, Your heart already has the answer, so why ask again? Now I give you a choice. Submit to me or die. At this moment, the soul envoy felt very complicated inside. Wait, there's one more thing I want to confirm. Those beings claiming to be players were also created by you. The sixth void answered honestly, Of course. The fear of the soul envoy surged again at the thought of those players. Even when their physical forms disintegrate, their spiritual power doesn't easily fade away, and the one who created them is this guy. This means he has grasped the laws of the cycle of the Underworld, a supreme power that even the Bac Kai King never held. So what kind of great entity am I facing right now? Seeing him hesitate, the sixth void immediately shouted, I'm asking you one last time, will you submit or die? Hearing this, the soul envoy no longer hesitated and immediately knelt down to pay respects to the king, the soul envoy. I pay my respects to the current king. I will be loyal to you just as I was to the Bakkai king. The Soul Envoy bowed beneath the throne of the High Cock King, saying, Your Excellency, I have investigated and returned. The Demon General Satna slowly spoke. Have you investigated the cause of the death of the Demon Overseer? The Soul Envoy placed a dry branch on the ground. Your Excellency, please take a look at the Demon Overseer's camp. I found this dry branch from the tree demon. The Demon General Satna was slightly surprised. That demon was the right hand of the fan-thatched Demon King. Did he take action? He has already taken over the entire Bakjioi, and that's not enough. He wants to invade my territory as well. After a moment of silence, the Demon General Satna angrily said, You go tell the Haivuong in the Huangtuyen Sea to inform him that the condition is to offer 100,000 souls as sacrifices every year. This was what he had proposed before. His Majesty has agreed. Tell him to wait for me to break through the Demon King's realm, and I will assist him in conquering the back region. When the scene shifted to the Sixth Void's home, it was already 3 a.m., but his room was still lit. Recently on the game forum, players hoped that the online conquest could open a payment channel. This made the Sixth Void very troubled, and he could only add more game settings. To quell their grievances, Bak Li was very curious about why he didn't let the Soul Envoy commit suicide during the day. But the Sixth Void said, Just watch this. She'll understand soon enough. Before long, a live image appeared on the screen. This was the border between the Lu Li and the Huangtuyen Sea, where a few players were sneaking into the territory of Satna to livestream. However, at that moment, on the crest of the waves, a monster with the upper body of a human and the lower body like an octopus with 8 limbs holding a trident suddenly appeared. The monster roared at the sky, and the massive sound waves turned into almost tangible ripples rolling towards the shore, each wave hitting the sound waves of the monster. Players lost 100 health, but the monster continued to roar, Satna, come out now. But right after that roar, a figure appeared in midair. You suddenly show up. What do you want, Haivuong? Don't overstep your bounds, the Demon General Satna said while gritting his teeth. Facing the aggressive Haivuong from a distance, while watching the live stream, the Sixth Void laughed. Overstepping bounds, that's exactly what I plan to do. What's wrong with that? Next to Bak Li with a shocked expression, the Sixth Void thought, This is really scary. Although she didn't know what was happening, she had a feeling that the Demon General Satna would be outsmarted by him in a very tragic way at this moment. On the other side, the Demon General's face was extremely grim. Sea King, you dare to lead your army into my territory so openly. You really underestimate me. The Sea King, furious, said, If the Northern King were still alive, I would respect you a bit, but without the Northern King, you are nothing in my eyes. Hearing this, the Demon General couldn't maintain his dignity. Not only had the enemy invaded his territory, but they were also insulting him. His fists gradually tightened as he said, If you want to fight, I'm ready to take you on. The Sea King continued to point at him, cursing, Aren't you just a turtle hiding its head anymore? Daring to refuse my proposal, I think you must be ready for this battle, right? Hearing this, the Demon General was about to strike, but hesitated and refused. But I clearly ordered the Soul Envoy to accept the Sea King's proposal. Why is it now a refusal? In a hurry, he called out to the Sea King, Wait, there might be some misunderstanding between us. But unexpectedly, the Sea King shot him a disdainful glance. Coward, is it too late to regret now? The Northern King in this realm is truly just a thing of the past, the Demon General said, leaning on his injured arm. Now that the truth is clear, there's no need for us to be here anymore. Now I directly commit to you. I accept your request to tribute 100,000 souls to you each year. Seeing him humble himself, the Sea King immediately changed his tone. Very well, your Majesty accepts. However, the amount must now be doubled. Without the Northern King, anyone can bully you. You've lived this long already. The law of the jungle doesn't need me to remind you. The Demon General's face turned pale, but after showing his strength, there was no room for negotiation. I agree to your request. The Sea King laughed heartily. That's more like it. Go teach your subordinates a lesson. If this situation happens again, you might not be so lucky next time. With that, he vanished in a whirlpool. After the Sea King left, the Demon General finally relaxed. You dared to humiliate me like this Envoy of Souls. I will definitely tear your soul apart, making sure you never escape. The Envoy of Souls looked dazed. Is the Sea King gone? I finally understand. You kept the Envoy of Souls to be your pawn. This time you really tricked the Demon General badly. I thought it would just be mutual damage, but in the end, the demon general was beaten alone. Who is this Sea King? The Northern King explained that he is a very powerful figure who used to fight against the Northern King many times. Really, the Sea King fought against my ancestor too. Yes, they fought often. The Northern King would often seek out the Sea King to battle. Once he even brought me along and I saw the Northern King pin the Sea King to the ground. It was painful to watch, really. The Sea King is quite strong, but not overwhelmingly so. The Underworld is still vast. The Sea King can only be considered the overlord of the sea near the Northern Kingdom, while the entire Underworld connects with the major prisons of the Ming realm. It's divided into 7 seas. The Sea King can't even dominate one sea. Hearing this, the envoy was very surprised. Just a moment ago, the Sea King had looked down on the demon general on the ground. But he can't even dominate a single sea! The Northern King chuckled. Our sea near the Northern Kingdom is called the Void Sea. The Void Sea's supreme ruler is a creature that has transcended. Its strength is unfathomable. Even the Northern King is no match for him. The envoy immediately felt terrified. If even the ancestor isn't a match, if an enemy wants to attack the sea, our entire Northern Kingdom will be in danger. The Northern King nodded. That's right, it really is like that. After a moment, the envoy suddenly came up with an idea. After we capture the crystal, let's establish a navy. Otherwise, even if Poseidon comes to invade with our current strength, it would be hard to withstand. But Bak Li said she had thought it through. But first, we need to repair Min Fu's equipment storage, where there are many design blueprints, including a design for a Yulin ship that can absorb materials to grow. It's the type of ship we've modified and evolved. The Yulin is a special vessel that can absorb the essence of heaven and earth, self-improving and evolving even if it's completely destroyed. As long as the core remains, it can restore itself to its original state after absorbing a large amount of spiritual materials, making it very suitable for players to use. At that point, we can take the blueprints to build Yulin ships. Initially, we can sell them to players, and then players can nurture and develop them. This is really exciting, so we can launch a development plan simultaneously at sea and on land. Right. But when Bak Li mentioned needing 500,000 soul coins to repair the equipment storage, it was a bit too much. How about we open an auction house in the game? This way, players can easily find the items they need by just entering the item name in the search system. They will find items being sold by other players at various prices. Additionally, players who have leveled up and want to exchange for better equipment can also sell their old unused items. Bak Li smiled widely, understanding his point. For this feature, we'll charge a service fee of 20% of the item's selling price in soul coins. 6 Vo agreed. Bak Li, you're really a cute little lamb. This girl has lived for thousands of years and scared me to death when she grabbed a knife on the bed. Let's talk properly first. Put the knife down. Bak Li excitedly said, 6 Vo, you found a direction for the inheritance profession of the assassin. Then she slashed the air in front of her, saying, this is a relic of the original turtle tribe, unexpectedly discovered by a gamer. She thinks she has found the direction for the assassin's career change. 6 Vo glanced at the knife, which was not only rusty, but also missing a few pieces looking nothing special. Bak Li quickly explained that this knife was a weapon of the original turtle tribe, and she always intended to turn it into a direction for the inheritance of the cursed assassin. The original turtle tribe was once a very powerful race in Bak Kai, believed to have connections with the great prisons in the Min realm. Each of their members was a born assassin with the ability to summon terrifying cursed demons. The original turtle tribe was brutal, killing everywhere and causing disasters for beings in the underworld. They even openly challenged the Baki King, but unfortunately they were crushed by the army of the Bakai King Tran and then disappeared from the Bakai land. She thought she could only find it in the equipment storage. After the repairs, unexpectedly discovering the items of the original turtle tribe in the auction house, she wondered who the fool was that put it up for sale for just 5 soul coins. What a bargain they got. Bak Li grabbed 6 Vo's hand using the weapon's ability to travel to Min Fu, directly bringing it into Min Fu as a model, then posting an announcement in the game for him to see. At the same time, players would soon see an announcement throughout the game updating the inheritance profession of the cursed assassin. Willing to bear the curse, abandoning faith to become a wanderer of the dead, absorbing the power of the curse in suffering. In their eyes, death is the true beginning. The profession's characteristics hold the power of the curse, capable of summoning cursed demons and cursed weapons. The initial profession must be an assassin at level 30. Hell Path 1 summons the Demon Servant for 30 minutes. During this time, all damage dealt will have the power of the Demon Servant, and under the protection of the Demon Servant, damage taken is reduced by 15%. Hell Path 2 20000000 healing, turning into a messenger. The Profession's characteristic holds the power of a curse capable of summoning cursed demons, requiring the initial profession to be an assassin at level 30. The Hell Path summons the Demon Servant for 30 minutes during this time. All damage dealt also gains the strength of the Demon Servant, while under its protection damage received is reduced by 15% with a Hell Path of 200000 healing as the envoy. A 1-minute attack during this time allows the ability to fly to target a specific area for a wide-ranging devastating attack from a billion dam. The Hell Path 3-8 Lamon transforms into 8 Lamon for 1 minute during this time. You can control the selected target into a captive state while the damage inflicted on yourself is reduced by 85%. The chosen target will bear this damage. Additionally, the cursed individual can awaken 18 types of evil spirits with 18 different attack forms ranging from low to high divided into 4 levels, with the 9th Hell Path being extremely wicked. It's really hard to grasp the details. You can ask the job transfer guide to see how the job transfer works. Players are completely crazy feeling that this job is even stronger than the warrior's spell. Even suicide can kill others, requiring the job transfer mission for the Assassin's Curse. The Assassin's Curse job transfer mission has been posted. A player who is level 30 or above can accept the job transfer mission and hunt any monsters excluding other players to earn additional red blood essence. Collecting 10,000 points of red blood essence can unlock the first Hell Path for a successful job transfer. The Assassin's Curse mission 2 upgrades the profession to Hell Path. 2A Tai Dam seeking 3 sources of cursed power to submit to the job transfer guide, who will inscribe 3 curses onto the body. Completing the second profession upgrade. A Tai Dam Hell Path 3-8. Lamon, the Selfless 8. Lamon sacrifices in death to understand the essence of 8 Lamon at extreme difficulty. Players self-realize from hell to Tuhan's sun, collecting fragments of divine spirits from the mountain and submitting them to the job transfer master to complete the upgrade, leaving all gamers stunned. For the first time, they see a job transfer requirement this difficult. They also have to self-realize how to view comments on the Trung back channel, feeling quite helpless. The curse design is good, but the upgrade entirely depends on the player's ability, especially the self-sacrifice skill. Even the ancient cursed tribes had only a few who could do it. 6 Vo size. During this phase, the refinement of inherited professions is slowly being implemented, but the hidden profession field is completely empty, but Bakli simply says. 6 Vo just needs to restore Huan 07. Huan 07 is where the ancient Baki king used to keep defeated enemy generals and the souls of fallen warriors. Many famous generals who once followed the Baki king to expand the territory are inside. Huan 07 is a worship architecture. Among those souls are several highly talented warriors whose legacies can be inherited through weapons. Thus, the war continues. We just need to set up some random missions to activate job transfers in the game when players complete them. They will receive that inherited power to become hidden professions in the game. Meanwhile, the Black Sea Technology Company is convening an emergency meeting. It turns out that Tiep Duke has successfully researched ahead of them. The game cabin is a step ahead, thus gaining rights from famous domestic game companies when the boss's assistant suddenly speaks up, Chairman Tran, according to news from Platform 173. There is still one game company that has not signed an agreement with Tiep Duke. Moreover, they are the ones who actively refuse. The man sighs. One game company is better than none. You should negotiate to see if a cooperation agreement can be signed. Try to meet their requirements as much as possible. On one side, 6 Vo is having a headache because there are too many features that need to be expanded in the game recently, although the capabilities of the Qin weapons are growing rapidly, but still not enough at this time. His phone rings. When he answers, the other party gets straight to the point. Mr. 6, we are the Black Sea Technology Company, and we hope your game can cooperate with the cabin. Your phone rang, and when you answered, the other party got straight to the point. Mr. 6, we are the Black Sea Technology Company, and we hope your game can collaborate with us. Our virtual game hasn't let him finish speaking yet. 6V immediately responded, saying they had an impression of you without needing to meet face-to-face. I just have one question. If we collaborate, will you charge a fee? The assistant was stunned after hearing this. Chairman Tran took the phone and said he would speak directly with him. Picking up the call, Chairman Tran got straight to the point without beating around the bush. 6V won't charge a fee and is also ready to integrate your game as pre-installed software in the gaming booth so players won't need to download it separately but can see it right in the game list. Seeing him so happy, 6Vav immediately agreed. After all, the virtual gaming booth is more beneficial for stability and player growth. The man slashed his hand, letting the blood flow down the stone wall. Before long, a ghostly white dog leaped out from the rock wall, soaring above the man. Instantly, his blood fully recovered as he felt disappointed. A ghostly golden deer suddenly appeared from a beam of golden light spreading throughout the cave, announcing the entire area, congratulating the player Ton Koi. Successfully changing his profession to a hidden class, a golden light surrounded Ton Koi and a golden orb gradually formed. Moments later, the golden orb exploded instantly, filling the cave with golden mist. The live stream caused a sensation in the game, with views exceeding 100,000. But as the mist cleared, a silly white dog suddenly appeared at the bottom of the cave. Player Ton Koi, level 21 profession by me Spirit Beast. Those watching the live stream burst into wild laughter, with comments flooding the screen revealing that Ton Koi was just a gamer. Accidentally falling into a hole in the game map and unable to escape on his own, he opened a live stream to ask players for help. However, they all accidentally got discovered by BAC Lee. So he picked a random name to convince the guy to bleed successfully, transforming him into a hidden profession. Each time he levels up, his attributes increase by 100%, and he can comprehend a legacy skill at each level. Upon reaching level 150, the second form unlocks. The blood within by me has miraculous healing effects. At this moment, 6V was very curious why my Conqueror weapon couldn't retain by me's skill list. It also couldn't be replicated for other players. Back Lee was quite helpless. This was entirely a matter of luck. Other gamers wanting to change to by me could only do so like this player. Finding the place to inherit the remaining life of by me was very slim. Meanwhile, Ton Koi easily escaped the cave thanks to the powerful stats of his new body. He looked at the attribute panel, his face filled with joy. As a novice gamer with no skills and no money spent obtaining this profession was truly about to reach the peak of life. But as he got carried away, he imagined a network of vines falling from the sky, wrapping around him in an instant, then being brutally beaten by 3 other players, finally capturing the beast. Then I learned the taming profession from a grandmaster. I must successfully tame it. A girl holding a magic staff said disappointedly, "It seems it's not a beast, it's just a little white dog." The boy laughed. "Why not tie it up and practice first? The beast is harder to tame." So before Ton Koi's bewildered gaze, they tied him to a dry tree. The girl said, "This wild creature has a fierce nature. Don't be fooled by its small size. It's very fierce. So you have to hit it hard to scare it." That's the first step in taming something I learned from the Grandmaster. At this moment, the girl pulled out a staff from somewhere, grinning. "I know what to do now." Seeing the girl so eager, Ton Koi immediately barked, "Woof, woof, woof." The woman was the head of the Czech-German company, and upon learning that 6V's online battle game wouldn't refuse to cooperate with rival companies, she immediately ordered her assistant to block the online battle game in all the booths we released. Additionally, inform our headquarters in the country so that they can coordinate with us to jointly seal off this game. We must let the gaming companies of Long Country understand the consequences of daring to refuse our Czech-German company. At this moment in this world of Ming realm, 6V suddenly sneezed. "How's the player who was transferred to the Buy Me profession doing?" Back Lee said that those watching the live stream couldn't hold back anymore and rushed to save him, but the torment almost made him surrender. At this moment, 6V sensed the soul messenger approaching. The divine essence of the battle condensed into the image of the Northern King who bowed his head in reverence before the figure not far away, the soul messenger, to pay respects to the Ngo King. The divine being obeyed the command and returned to the side of the moment, first using a willow branch to deceive him about the cause of the death of the demon overseer. Then the moment instructed me to meet the Sea King. I agreed to his request, but I deceived the Sea King according to the Ngo King's guidance, saying that the moment had rejected his request, and then he offered the object in his hand. This is all the souls that the moment possesses. The divine being has absorbed them all into this soul gem, completely following the Ngo King's instructions, leaving him with not a single soul. After saying this, he deeply bowed down. The soul messenger had been completely exposed, and the moment merciless would definitely not forgive the divine being. "Please protect me, No King, and grant me pride." At this moment, the soul gem hung in his hand, having absorbed 119 souls. Bak Li immediately gave a thumbs up, not only deceiving the moment, but also getting beaten by the Sea King. Moreover, it caused the Soul Messenger to lose all the souls he had painstakingly accumulated. Bak Li was truly ruthless, his face filled with a smile as he waved his hand towards the Soul Messenger. "You did very well. This is a reward I give you." Soon a stream of soul power infiltrated the body of the Soul Messenger, the soul power acting as a catalyst igniting the soul flame in his mind. The Soul Messenger was stunned. He could even control the soul power to elevate my strength to half a realm. The lower divine being thanked the Ngo King for the reward, thinking to himself. Unlike players who enhance their strength for the Soul Messenger, it was actually not difficult. The growth of players is like digging a canal to accumulate a lake, needing to be done step by step. But the Soul Messenger was originally a being that had cultivated for thousands of years. I was just adding a bit of water to his lake. However, this scene also left Bak Lam in awe. For the Soul Messenger, this was an earth-shattering technique. Moreover, he understood the debts and rights clearly, thus possessing the demeanor of a monarch. Bak Li did not intend to let him stay here. He then said to the Soul Messenger, "I have a new mission for you." The Soul Messenger raised his head. "Please speak, Your Majesty. I will definitely do my utmost." Bak Li continued, "Next you will follow the Phantom Stone Demon King." These words left the Soul Messenger utterly terrified. He wanted to refuse, but could not find the words, thinking to himself that he was being punished with death by Bak Li. Just now he was sent to follow the Demon General the moment. Now he was being arranged to follow the Phantom Stone Demon King. Seeing him unresponsive, Bak Li continued, "I want you to stir up the relationship between the Phantom Stone Demon King and the Demon General the moment. At the same time, investigate the situation in the northern region of the Phantom Stone. After understanding, report back to me." The Soul Messenger hesitated slightly, fearing that the Phantom Stone Demon King would not easily trust him. But just as he finished speaking, Bak Li handed him a soul pearl. "You take this soul pearl to present to the Phantom Stone Demon King as your leading offering messenger." The Soul Messenger nodded. "I understand." "I will not disgrace the mission," he said, then transformed into light and flew away. After that, Bak Li shattered the form of the Northern King and asked, "Just now I intended to directly give him the soul pearl. Why did you tell me to take away 150,000 souls?" Bak Li explained. "Souls can be used to build a teleportation pipeline?" Bak Li, hearing this, asked, "You mean a relay station? This can also be created using soul power." Bak Li shook his finger. "A relay station and a teleportation pipeline are not entirely the same. The former only requires soul power to build, but the latter needs offerings, and souls are those offerings. Simply put in certain special areas on the surface world. If a direct teleportation gate cannot be built, souls must be offered to construct a teleportation tunnel to activate it. And this type of special area can only be activated by building a teleportation tunnel. Coincidentally, it can become the instance in the game that we have always wanted to build." Speaking of this, Bak Li eagerly clasped his hands. "The reason I left you with 150,000 souls is to activate a special area. The offering needed is precisely this number, and that special area is the Hell Path. The Hell Path is a forbidden area in the Underworld consisting of a total of 18 layers continuously producing demons. The required sacrifice is precisely this number, and that special area is the Hell Path. The Hell Path is a forbidden zone in the Underworld consisting of a total of 18 floors that continuously spawn demons. The deeper you go, the stronger the evil spirits become, making it perfect for players to train, especially for assassins who need many essential items to change their class. You can find it inside. Hearing that, Six Wu thought for a moment and then released all 150,000 souls he had just extracted from the battle god. At this moment, Bak Li also drew a strange talisman on the ground. Surrounding them were floating objects in a blue hue like jellyfish. After more than 10 minutes, the ground began to tremble slightly, and red light emerged from the patterns drawn on the ground. The floating souls around were drawn to the center of the formation. Six Wu shivered in fear as Bak Li was also swept into the chaos when things started to go wrong. "I'll pull her out immediately." In no time, a pair of giant red arms appeared. A stream of lava appeared behind Six Wu. He hurriedly asked Bak Li about the sudden appearance of these arms. Bak Li raised both hands to his mouth and chanted a few phrases that Six Wu completely didn't understand, then seriously said, "Don't call them arms. They belong to one of the oldest gods of the Underworld." Although he is dead, he was once the supreme manifestation. Just now I used ancient language for the sacrifice to summon the remaining consciousness of him hoping to exchange for a wormhole to the hell path. By sacrificing these 150,000 souls, soon the giant arms began to break through the formation, creating a bottomless pit. The girl sacrificed 150,000 souls just to unlock a dungeon in the game. She summoned one of the oldest gods of the Underworld, using him in the formation to forcibly open a passage down to hell. Although this god is dead, he still governs one of the competition areas. Once the hell passage was opened, the giant arms began to fade and the formation transformed into a bottomless pit. Six Wu asked, "So will we need to do this for other dungeons in the future?" Bak Li replied, "That's right. All forbidden areas carry the echoes of the ancient gods who have passed away. That's why those areas became forbidden, and to unlock new dungeons, we need to find ways to gather more souls." "Oh, right," Six Wu said. "We haven't been to the hell path yet. I really want to go see." Six Wu looked a bit worried. "Isn't it dangerous?" Bak Li reassured him. "Don't worry. I plan to use the yin energy to form a body." Then, blending in with a team of 5 players, Six Wu quickly agreed. The game-wide notification popped up announcing that the dungeon had been opened, activating the Hell Path dungeon and adding an NPC guide for it. The Hell Path has 18 levels with scenes for leveling up and training several bosses and countless powerful creatures requiring a minimum of 10 members for the dungeon group. The time limit is 1 hour. Seeing this notification, players had long been ready, quickly logging in and rushing to the dungeon gathering point. Within 10 minutes, nearly 30 members of the Guardian Angel Guild, led by Diep Tuyet Nai, gathered near the NPC. Preparing for the survey, she lightly touched the dungeon control panel and a board appeared selecting the Hell Path dungeon for teleportation. Immediately, all team members felt a sensation: weightlessness. At this moment, Bak Li also created his wizard character, blending in with the crowd of players. Before long, as his body adjusted, he felt the environment around him change significantly. The ground was barren, with red lava flowing in the crevices. Even with the lowered senses, it was still palpable. A wave of heat surged forward. Tuyet Ni observed her surroundings and said, "Everyone stay calm and follow the group according to the guide's instructions. This dungeon has a lot of materials and precious treasures. Search carefully. Don't miss anything." At this moment, Diep Tien noticed a cave to the left of the waterfall. But standing too close, his health was continuously decreasing. Tuyet Ni approached him. "Hey, you're losing health. Quick, get away from that lava waterfall." But Diep Tien said, "It's fine. I'm only losing a drop of health every second. There must be something valuable inside." So everyone ventured deeper into the cave. They soon discovered that there was absolutely no heat inside. "This dungeon is really strange. Outside it's clearly scorching, but inside it's freezing cold." As visibility dimmed, Tuyet Nai suddenly felt a bit scared, but as the leader of the guild, she absolutely couldn't lose face here. "You absolutely cannot lose face here." This woman, as the guild leader in the game, was startled by the surroundings when she noticed her brother smashing a statue of an officer. She quickly exclaimed, "Hey, what are you doing? You scared me." But Dup said, "Don't worry, I'm here." It was actually the loud noise from him that startled her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been scared. How could she be scared? Depp scratched his head and said, "Sorry, sis. I just thought there was something about that statue. There must be something related to inheritance, or at least some kind of treasure." Tuyet Ni was taken aback. It seemed right. Everyone started smashing the statue, but after half an hour they were exhausted, and more importantly, utterly disappointed because no matter how hard they hit, they couldn't break the statues. It was truly a terrible experience with things like this. Why can't it just be a button to open it? Bak Li thought to herself that besides the officer's statue, there must be something else here, then muttered, "An advanced touchscreen, huh?" Hearing that, everyone turned to look. Bak Li was startled, raised her magic staff, and awkwardly backed away. At that moment, Diep suddenly spoke up. "What's this A treasure that no one can take?" It was so frustrating. Tuyet Nai felt helpless. It seemed they could only give up. "Remember this spot? Let's come back when we're stronger and open it." Just then, an assistant said, "Sister Tuyet Nai, I've discovered 3 stone ponds here, but these ponds seem to be made of the same material as the statue. No matter how hard I hit, I can't break them." At that moment, a warrior enthusiast was poking at the pond, which looked like the burial pits in his village. If they were lucky, it would open up to reveal some fine wine. If not, it might just be something from their ancestors. Hearing this, Tuyet-ni immediately lost all desire to open it. She said, since we can't open these things right now, let's quickly get out and explore elsewhere. But deep down, she thought, I don't want to open anything weird. Biak Lai, hiding on the side, almost burst out laughing. If you guys don't take it, don't blame me for taking it. Saying that, she activated her weapon, and soon a blue light enveloped the stone pawns, which were shortly drawn into the weapon's space. Everyone didn't check back anymore and headed straight out of the cave, but just then, they heard cries for help from some players. Help us help! Seeing Tuyet-ni and the others, the leading guy was overjoyed. Finally, we found another group. Help us. At this moment, Tuyet-ni's attention was drawn to something in that person's hand. It was a large, bright red egg surrounded by dragon scales. Before long, a massive fire dragon swooped down from afar, continuously spewing out scorching flames. Seeing this, Tuyet-ni shouted, Don't come near, you've stolen a dragon egg and brought the boss here. What do you think you're doing coming close? Watch out or I'll kill you. But the others paid no mind and ran faster. The boy who had stolen a soon-to-hatch dragon egg was being chased by a gigantic fire dragon. Seeing the fire dragon approaching, Tuyet-ni immediately ordered everyone, Get into the cave quickly. We can't deal with this boss right now. In less than 5 seconds, the egg thief also ran inside, but the cave was too narrow, and the dragon could only get stuck at the entrance, roaring wildly. At this moment, Tuyet-ni drew her sword and pointed it at the man. Give me the dragon egg, the man explained. Let's talk properly. Even if I give you the egg, you can't do anything with it. Dragon eggs can't be stored in private space. If not, we wouldn't need to run away from the dragon. But just as he finished speaking, Tuyet-ni suddenly appeared behind him and killed him, saying, You brought the muddy water for the dragon to follow us, putting us in danger. Now I'm killing the troublemaker. Isn't that reasonable? In less than 5 seconds, the dragon egg thief rushed in, but the cave was too cramped and the dragon could only get stuck at the entrance, roaring madly. At that moment, Tuyet-ni drew her sword and pointed it at the man. Give me the dragon egg, he explained. Talk properly. Even if I give you the egg, you won't be able to do anything with it. The dragon egg can't be stored in a private space. If not, we wouldn't need to hold it and run from the dragon. But just as he finished speaking, Tuyet-ni suddenly appeared behind him and killed him, saying, You led the muddy water for the dragon to follow us. You put us in a dangerous situation. Now killing the troublemaker isn't too much, is it? After that, Tuyet-ni tried to put the dragon egg into her private space, but couldn't, helplessly saying that the dragon was guarding outside. If we go outside, we'll die and the dragon egg will fall out too, so this egg is useless, right? But just at that moment, the eggshell cracked and a golden ray of light burst out from the fissure. At that moment, Biak Lai, hidden in the crowd, felt the weapon in her hand flicker. She thought the dragon egg was about to hatch and the timing was just right. Earlier, she had borrowed from these people. Now it was time to repay the favor. Before long, a small dragon with an adorable appearance stretched out of its shell, looking up and joyfully calling out. In the next moment, the little dragon transformed into light and rushed into Biak Lai, disappearing. At the same time, an announcement rang out congratulating Tuyet-ni on hatching her first pet, the little dragon. Deep Shen was very excited, saying that his sister was truly lucky, unmatched by anyone. Tuyet-ni, quickly summon your pet to see. Let's check its attributes right now. Tuyet-ni tried to display the attributes of the fire dragon, and a row of attributes appeared before her. The pet details showed that it was a fierce beast usually found in hot regions. It has immunity to high temperatures. Looking up, she saw flames swirling above its head. It was the fire dragon. Tuyet-ni sighed, seeming a bit weak. She still needed to spend time training it. This is troublesome. The fire dragon seemed to understand her words and immediately rubbed against Tuyet-ni's chest, looking so cute. Tuyet-ni said, All right, it's not like I can't raise you. The scene shifted to inside the space where a vortex emitted sizzling sounds, suddenly tearing through space. After that, Biak Lai jumped out from the space. The voice of the vortex rang out beside her. This pet hatched from the egg of a player thanks to your secret help, right? Biak Lai nodded. Wasn't the timing of the dragon egg's appearance a bit off? I just took the opportunity to materialize them. The pets must be in a newly hatched state. Only when they come into contact with the outside world can they be brought into the protective gear. If they are in a mature state, even with protective gear, they can't be materialized. It's just a pity that fully materializing the pet inevitably leads to loss. The fire dragon was supposed to be at the level of a fierce beast, but after materialization, it's only at a high level. Six-Woo patted her head, but it was fine. She had set up the pet very well already. Moreover, right after materialization, I had set a fee of 30 soul coins each time the pet resurrected, adding another way to earn soul coins. The anonymous profession in online combat is archery. Finally, it opened up. He was once the best archer under the Northern King. Just now Bak Li returned from the Underworld, and he was very worried that players would conflict over the dragon or resources. But these things had been anticipated. He proposed a design for players to unite which was unrealistic and needed to rely on mechanisms. Therefore, during Bak Li's trip to Hell, he also designed a way for players to relieve stress, to build a huge battlefield and 100 fortresses. Inside the weapon space, all guilds with 500 members or more could register to participate in this guild war. The theme of this event is conquest. In the center of each fortress, there will be a white flag. Any guild that captures a fortress can change the white flag to their guild's flag. Of course, the flag is just a process. Even if your guild captures the fortress and changes the flag, members of other guilds can still retake it. This is a large-scale battle with an initial construction phase followed by fortress defense lasting several days. At the end, the top 100 guilds that still hold fortresses will be selected and rewarded. The blood of war from Bak Li was quickly ignited. However, although it could easily gather energy to form in the weapon space, this is still a large project that is expected to take quite a bit of time to build. Six-Woo nodded, agreeing with her assessment, so this activity is still in the preparation phase. But I have good news. Our soul coins have finally reached 200,000. We can start building. After 30 minutes, a tall tower appeared in the Ming Mansion. This is a major battle that has a construction phase followed by city defense lasting several days until completion. The top 100 factions that still hold the city will be selected and rewarded. The blood of the North Lai quickly ignited, but even though it could easily gather yin energy to form weapons in space. This is still a significant project that is estimated to take quite a bit of time to build. Lu Wu nodded, acknowledging her comment, so this activity is still in the preparation stage. But I have good news. Our soul currency has finally reached 200,000, and we can start building the transformation. After 30 minutes, a towering tower appeared in the Underworld. At this moment, the announcement for the entire area popped up about a new update unlocking the hidden class of the Sun Archer and the legacy of the unique challenge for the hidden class limited to 10 people. For details, you can ask the NPC guiding the class. It's very confusing in the Han 07, and there are still many souls. So she wants me to choose the Sun Archer first. Please explain, Ba Li. Because the Sun Archer was once a treasure highly regarded by the Northern King, the Sun Archer is the #1 archer under the Northern Emperor. His power nearly reached the realm of the Demon King. But in the battle against the Cursed Tribe, the chief of the Cursed Tribe sacrificed himself to launch a self-destructive attack on the Sun Archer, causing the Northern King great sorrow over the loss. But ultimately helpless in the end, the Northern King could only place the soul of the Sun Archer into Hoan 07 for future generations to honor the hero 6-Vo to console the past. No need to be sad anymore. Let's arrange the next steps. Then Ba Li conjured a bow from thin air to fully unleash the power of the Sun Archer's legacy. The exquisite archery technique is indispensable. Moreover, the online battle is not a virtual game. It's entirely a real world, so not everyone can master archery. We need to select players who want to change classes before 6-Vo immediately gathers energy in their hands. This is easy. I will directly create a challenge map to filter out the top 10 performers to receive the legacy of the Sun Archer. This is the Hidden Class Challenge. The number of registrations reached 250,000 people. To avoid interference, each player will be in a separate space for the first challenge, completing it quickly. The top 10 all achieved a 100% hit rate among them. Diepthon also participated for fun, and his score made him very satisfied. Then the second round was also successful. The fixed target was 100 meters, and Diepthon still scored perfectly, securing the second position. This made Diepthon ecstatic. It wasn't just a casual participation. Who would have thought that I shot randomly and still hit the bullseye? I haven't even touched the bow. Maybe I really am a genius. After the third round, Diepthon not only secured the hidden class position, but also ranked first. Nan, indeed, I am a genius. I want to be humble, but talent doesn't allow it. At this moment, 2 people were hiding behind preparing the inheritance for the players to adapt easily. They decided to spend some soul currency to recreate the body template in no time. A piece of information appeared in Diepthon's mind. Congratulations, you have successfully changed classes to the Sun Archer. Please open the Attributes panel to see the details of the class. The training range will continue for 30 minutes. Please make the most of your time at the training range to adapt to the new skills of the Sun Archer, the greatest archer in the northern region. Inheriting the archer's weapon each level up increases attributes by 50. Additionally, a special passive effect, Eagle Eye, is granted replenishing energy with the breath of the Sun Archer. The passive skill Eagle Eye enhances vision, allowing for self-adjustment of focus between near and far. The breath of the Sun Archer consumes 1 point of energy for each arrow shot. The breath of the Sun Archer skill consumes additional energy, regenerating 1 point every 3 seconds. The Sun Archer's arrow barrage consumes 5 points while simultaneously firing 5 arrows. Carrying the breath of the Sun Archer deals area damage, consuming 3 points of energy. It can be used to dodge attacks or close in on the opponent. Manhwa Chi 7 uses up the remaining energy to concentrate all the power of the breath of the Sun Archer, forging it into a sword of air to deliver a fatal blow during the use of this skill. There's no need to combine with the bow and arrow. This class will unlock Stage 2 when the player reaches level 100 and completes the class upgrade. For details, you can ask the career advisor. Watching the inheritance of the Sun Archer made the live stream viewers envious. After changing classes, he immediately learned 3 skills so under everyone's watchful eyes. He practiced shooting, but when he shot, the score dropped to 0. He was live streaming and awkwardly adjusted his posture, saying that he had missed the shot earlier and would shoot for real this time. The arrow shot out, missed the target by 10 meters, and the score continued to show 0. After 5 consecutive shots, he finally realized a serious issue. Perhaps the previous 15 arrows he shot randomly actually hit the target. But right after changing classes, all the arrows shot out were pulled down to 0 points. Suddenly, Diepthan had an idea. Maybe he still had a chance. He immediately took out a long sword. But right after changing professions, all arrows shot down suddenly. Diepshen had a bright idea. Perhaps he still had a chance. He immediately took out a long sword. I used to be a poor archer, so I guess I'll just go back to my old job. But just as he finished speaking, the sword slipped from his hand and fell to the ground with a clatter, announcing that the game had displayed that he had changed his class to a specialized weapon user, an archer, and could no longer equip a sword. Deep was in tears, regretting that he had someone with a bright future but didn't appreciate it, and instead participated in this archery challenge. I'm such a fool. In the realm of the lost, a beam of golden light shot down from the sky, causing the surrounding hills to tremble violently. At that moment, the dark-faced demon general roared in anger, holding his sword. That soul-reaping bastard dared to betray me, humiliating me in front of the Sea King. I will definitely tear you apart into 1,000 pieces in the next life, a woman's voice echoed. My lord, capturing the soul-reaping messenger right now might be a bit tricky. According to the latest news, we have collected 10 souls that have gone to the Demon King and offered all the souls to him. Hearing this, the Demon General thought to himself, it won't be long before I agree to offer 100,000 souls to the Sea King. Where will I get them from? Besides, my strength is almost at the level of the Demon King now. Those souls are crucial for my breakthrough. What can I rely on to break through? On one side is the Sea King, and on the other is the Demon King, both stronger than me, while I used to be very confident about my chances of breaking through. Now I'm stuck. What should I do next? Suddenly, the soul-reaping messenger said, My lord, our realm of the lost is situated between the forces of the Sea King and the Demon King. Due to the betrayal of the soul-reaping messenger, it is very dangerous here. Instead, let's leave and run to the Underworld where there are no forces occupying it to temporarily avoid danger while waiting for you to break through to the Demon King level and continue planning for the long term. The Demon General thought carefully. This method could really work. But what about the souls in the realm of the lost? Am I just going to abandon them? But the soul-reaping messenger said, My lord, what time is it now? Right now, only if you surpass the Demon King level can we have a voice in this northern land. If not, the next time the Sea King comes to demand 100,000 souls from us, it will be truly dangerous. The Water General saw that her analysis was very reasonable and ordered to take all the resources that could be carried away. 10 days later, everyone set off for the Underworld. Meanwhile, in the real world, 2 people were discussing a player, a swordsman who was a fierce fighter in the game, believing that his swordsmanship in real life was also top-notch. A scruffy man blocked their path, asking, Where's the swordmaster? Tell me where he is. One of the 2 was grabbed by him. Yelling loudly, he hurriedly said, "In the online battle, his name is Mach 9 Kai." Seeing the man standing still, the two immediately ran away, cursing behind them, scared of that crazy guy. The man wanted to create a new NPC, designating two character models, a fat chef representing dark cuisine, and an old goat herder who could teach players to use various herbs to concoct poisons, but when it comes to the most popular NPC, it's still the village chief of the beginner village. At that moment, the phone of 6vo rang. It was Ngo Quoc Nhat calling to tell him that the month-long voting had ended. As all players thought, the online battle version led by a wide margin compared to other games. Ngo Quoc Nhat also said on the phone that he hoped 6vo began to consider the issue of the game's background music, and he promised to help if difficulties arose. This made 6vo ponder but which star to invite to sing the background music and produce it. It really gave him a headache. He once hoped to ask Bak Li, but only received a look that said he was an idiot. Bak Li said, "I only know about research and development. I don't know how to sing or compose. But you have a good idea, 6vo. You could try selecting from the songs on the game forum, and as for inviting singers, just leave that to Ngo Quoc Nhat. He could open some soul currency recharge channels. It won't affect anything." The positive motivation for players to earn soul currency like the costume feature, I believe many players who like to look good will spend money on that. At that moment, the two were excited when Bak Li discovered a strange scene in the game. 6vo's expression changed from suspicion to surprise as the player level was not challenging. A level 26 berserker at the Soul Demon Mountain, a young man in thin clothing held a sword lightly in his hand and said, "I want to challenge Mach 9 Ki-A." Mach 9 Ki-A chuckled, "Hey buddy, come back when you're at a higher level." The sword god coldly looked ahead. "Aren't you afraid? The sword heart of the first path moves forward without fear. You're not worthy of practicing the sword." Hearing him say that, Mach 9 Ka got angry and swung his sword. "Am I worthy or not? Isn't it up to you to decide, you arrogant fool? If you want to fight, I'll show you." After saying that, Mach 9 Ka rushed forward, but Nhau Kiem remained cold, quickly turning and drawing his sword. The clash with the sword Mach 9 Ka bought at the sword shop showed Nhau Kiem's completely skilled footwork. In less than 3 exchanges, both retreated a few steps, but Mach 9 K looked tired, because in a flash he was hit by over 10 strikes, while he himself didn't land a single hit. If it weren't for his attribute advantage and the armor, his health would have been wiped out, so he no longer cared about his dignity and directly activated the berserker skill, saying, "At first I didn't want to bully you a new account with no skills, but now you've provoked me." Mach 9 swung his sword into the sky using the flame slash, a fiery blade creating a crescent arc along the ground, slicing straight toward Nhau Kiem. However, at that moment, Bak Li seemed to sense something. After checking multiple times, she said in surprise, "Liu Wu, do you feel that inside the transformation there's a soul asset suddenly disturbed?" Even the man was focused solely on the battle. To defeat all the swordsmanship masters in the world. He even entered the virtual game taking a level 0 account, asking every gamer until he found the one rumored to be a swordsmanship master, even though he was only level 26. But in the end, he easily killed his opponent arrogantly, saying, "Your sword technique is too mediocre, even terrible, not at all like a swordsmanship master." But at that moment, the game system announced throughout the area congratulating the player Nhau Kiem for achieving the sword heart and receiving the hidden profession of demon sword master, which made even Nhau Kiem furious. Soon a shadow appeared before him, and he could clearly feel a majestic force suddenly descending upon him. Then the skill panel for the demon sword master appeared. Introducing the profession of the demon sword master, which has 10 sacred swords connected to the depth of understanding. The deeper the insight, the more powerful the strikes against the heavens and the earth, cutting down enemies with specialized weapons without needing any additional gear. No attribute increases when leveling up and cannot learn any berserk skills. 6void was secretly observing and immediately asked what happened. Doctor explained that there are some soul treasures in the transformation that require special conditions to activate. Because those souls still have some residual consciousness, they can choose their own inheritors. Since the player named Proud Sword has received the soul treasure, we can connect through the soul, and the connection with the Conqueror weapon to see what has transpired.